Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Quinn and Chris on the Fan.
Isn't all syrup maple syrup?
I'm talking about syrup. Like the a real
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego. The NFL plays here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Always live on the free Odyssey app. This program is sponsored and produced by Let's Talk Hookup. Opinions and offers expressed during this program are not those of Odyssey or 97.3 The Fan. Sometimes they tell some pretty hefty fish stories. We don't know if they're true or not.
And now it's time for Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's Talk Hookup. For the next 2 hours, join Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, Cory Sanden, and this week's special expert guest for fishing information, new techniques to catch more fish, and the most current scoop on what's happening in the water. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Royal Polaris, the world's finest long-range sports fisher. By Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup, and Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. Get ready for the fastest 2 hours on radio with the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Cory Sanden.
Good morning, anglers, and welcome to Let's Talk Hookup. Man, do we have a great show coming for you today. We have a surprise guest, a little bonus, a little savior of a guest. We were obviously excited to have Jim Hendricks in here talking all the great things about CCA, and unfortunately, Jim's a little under the weather, so we got the man, pulled him out of retirement. Wayne Kotow is going to be here, and I don't know that there's anybody better to be talking some CCA today. We're going to be having a great show, lots of fun. Pete is out of the studio up in Montana catching some trout, but Cory, I, and Wayne will be talking fishing with you. You stay tuned. You're listening to Southern California's sport fishing voice. This is Let's Talk Hookup on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.
It's employee pricing, and it's happening now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. That's right, employee pricing across a full lineup for trucks and SUVs. A lineup featuring California's #1 truck brand and Ford F-Series, America's all-time best-selling SUV and Ford Explorer, the iconic Ford Bronco, and more. No automaker employs more hourly workers or assembles more vehicles here in America than Ford Motor Company. And that's a commitment your San Diego County Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing to you. It's only for a limited time. Exclusions apply. Hurry to your local San Diego County Ford dealer today.
This is Duke Ekstrom from the Royal Star. In 1983, a group of intrepid anglers envisioned crafting the best sunglasses on the water. It's true now as it was then. Costa's performance frames excel in the toughest of elements. These styles are packed with functional features that create a competitive advantage for any adventure on the water. From the lake to offshore, Costa's performance collection has a legacy of helping anglers stay on the water longer. Learn more at costadelmar.com.
For your next fishing adventure, check Point Loma Sport Fishing. They offer half-day and full-day trips daily, perfect for families and the novice or seasoned fishermen. Point Loma Sport Fishing also offers overnight to multi-day trips, targeting the best of seasonal catches. Visit PointLomaSportFishing.com, where you can purchase tickets online and get more information on the trips available, or call 619-223-1627. Want to go fishing? Point Loma Sport Fishing has you covered.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and stoked for a little bit of diversion here, Rick. It's all good, man.
Yeah, today's going to be a fun day, and like I said, exactly as you described, a little punt and take the ball down the field, and I don't want to say this to our buddy Jim, but man, we had a pretty major upgrade in the old. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Jim. Well, we wish you well. Just a little under the weather, and we'll certainly look forward to having Jim here again. But great to have a great bud in the studio, and an old retired, just spends all his time fishing, these days, guy, and our great friend Wayne Kotow. Good morning, buddy.
Morning, surprise.
Well, we're certainly stoked to have you, and what great timing. I mean, obviously there's so much great stuff going on, but also you've been getting a little bit of fishing in. We've been trading stories. You were up in Alaska, out of Gustavus, the same time we were doing our Let's Talk Hookup trip to Kingfisher, and Boy, sounds like you guys had another really good time and some good fishing up north.
Absolutely. It's always fun. We were out there with the Stokes on fishing group. And, no matter where you go, it's fishing. And Alaska is just beautiful. So just go for the scenery and go for that boat ride, man. We had beautiful weather while we were up there. Fishing's a bonus, right? You get to catch your king salmon, you get to catch your halibut, and I caught 11 other species, so it was all good.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And we gave you a hard time the last time you were here. You may have taken the hat as the busiest guy, the busiest retired guy I know.
That's exactly right.
Retirement for most means hanging out and sitting on the couch and watching some TV and, taking the whole week to plan your fishing for Saturday. But you just jumped into all of the other hats you're wearing and are keeping yourself pretty darn busy. Still got the back of every fisherman out there.
Sometimes you just can't let it go. It's ingrained in you. The passion is still there. The network is there. You don't just want to give that up. The influence is there. And I'm still pissed off over what's going on.
Right.
So, it fires you up, right?
It's almost contagious, right? Like you can't leave it behind. And it's something you grew up with. We've all grown up with. And it's an everyday battle, like trying to keep everything in line.
Yeah, exactly. The good part is I don't have to go to every meeting now, and all the other stuff that goes with it. I get to pick and choose which ones I want to go, and I pick the battles that I think I can fight.
And Chris and Tony, I mean, they've got the reins,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're still, CCA board is one of the largest boards out there for the CCA organization, and it's strong. So we have the board and we have committees. So it's not just one or two people doing all the work. It's a group of people doing the work.
What states have a CCA type? I mean, Texas, Florida.
We're in 19 states across the country.
Really?
So it started in Texas, went across all the way to Florida, up the East Coast, and then Oregon, Washington, and then California was the last chapter in 2015.
Incredible. Yeah. Because it's California that benefits from the backbone of the already existing organization, right? I mean, we're thankful to have you and Tony and Chris, but having the backbone of the organization nationally.
Oh, that, I looked at it as it's a grandparent-parent-child relationship. You have the grandparent, which is national, which keeps the ship steady. The parent would be us, and then the child will be the local chapters that you build.
And let's face it, I mean, without getting too political, all the stupidness that happens in California, and it starts here and
exactly
spreads nationally. So they don't want things to start here because it may eventually end up.
Or things that could start here, they get a better heads up about what's happening, how it's working, how we're fighting it. If we're successful, like 30 by 30, it started here.
Yeah.
And it replicated across to the national level, the federal level. And if you read America the Beautiful, which is the federal 30 by 30 effort, it actually has a lot of our pieces in there of how we fought it and what we tried to fight for to support the recreational angling community. So we do have influence across the country.
You've always said CCA California is so important to the national group just because, I mean, let's be real, this is California and there's a lot of extreme environmental groups, and this is where a lot of things get started. They, groups that would love to stop fishing or stop whatever, they often have a little better opportunity in California. So this is the starting point of people trying to put their foot in the door. So a lot of the national, backs off of what California has gotten done. And boy, you at the Reign for all the years, and now the great job, like Cory was saying, that the rest of the crew is doing with Chris and Tony and everybody. Everybody watches our fight, and and how it happens, and like this is where so many things start. And CCA Cal is a very important part to the national program.
Yeah, if you look at what's going on, we'll go back to the 30 by 30. It's California that's trying to set up not only on the national stage but the international stage. I mean, they went internationally to go stand up there and say we're leading the nation and the country on 30 by 30. And we just got recognized by IUCN, the international board, for that whole 30 by 30 movement for California's MPA network, which if you go way, way back before this all started, we were already green to them. We already had met certain requirements. So again, they're trying to set the standard so much higher because we already meet the national standard for America the Beautiful 30 by 30, but yet they want to do more. And that's why we have to keep being vigilant, because it's not about, we were all for the environment, conservation, sustainability.
Who isn't, right?
We're just against the lack of access that they keep trying to put at us.
Yeah.
So we just have to stay on it.
And it's just, you get so frustrated. Like once California is different from other places. You and I were just in Alaska, and this year as a recreational angler, there was some pretty heavy restrictions that were happening in Alaska. The attitude up there is just different. I mean, certainly it's difficult when you're used to catching this and now you can't, but Alaska fish is managed so differently. Like if something goes away this year, that has almost no bearing on the next year or 2 years later. Things come and go, and we've seen limits get reduced and then bump back up again, or fish fall off the take list and then come back on. Or this year the returns were expected to be low because the year that the smolts were produced was a very dry year, so that particular year class isn't going to be good, so they dropped the limit down for that year, and then the next year they had a bunch of rain, they bring it back up. California, it just sure feels like when something falls off, it's gone. You might as well never think about it again.
We felt the same way with our salmon, right? We were shut down for a couple of years on the salmon, recreationally and commercially. We just got a season open this year, a small season, 2 days.
Which is
2
crazy.
days, which was a 7,000 fish limit, and we crushed it, went over it by like 9,100 fish.
So it did go over in those 2 days.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
10,000 anglers went out to go hit them, and that with everything from San Luis Obispo all the way up to Crescent City. Everybody went out and got them.
How do you, let me ask you this. I sorry to cut you off, Wayne, but how do you handle that for an industry, right? Like the tackle shops and how do you, a 2 day season just doesn't, and it supersedes it in 2 days. Could they, is there something else, man?
And the hard part is they didn't know they were going to have a season until earlier this year, when it was voted in at the Pacific Fisheries Management Council and then approved with NOAA, National Marine Fisheries Service. They had to approve it, and then it came down to the state to open it up. Right now, if we had not hit that limit of 7,000, there were extra dates in July and August, and we could have had more. Now, the only other thing is there's another season for the fall that they'll open up another 2 days with another amount, right? Another 7,000, and we'll see what happens there.
Like spread it out a little bit, right? I mean,
well, you got to still stay within, the
parameter
to be around and everything.
It was that the thought was 7,500 fish was or pounds, I forget, whatever the two, was the thought and the goal. And exactly like Wayne said, if that wasn't met, then there was going to be another 2 days in July, then there's going to be another 2 days in August. Well, it just happened to coincide with really good weather. So all of the ports up and down, Northern and Central California became available. And sometimes, this time of year, there can be, up north is some real weather. And if there's big wind and big swell, then but it was just met with great weather. So everybody's was able to have access to it. And there was a big batch of very hungry fish. And I think the goal was 7,500. And I think
7,000.
7,000. And I think I heard there was like 10,000 caught just out of the San Francisco Bay Area the first day. You know what I mean? You can't, you can't really react. You can't react that fast, and you can't, so anyways, it was met with some very good fishing. So the boys got some good fishing in it.
And they tried to regulate it very hard. They had 100 different CDFW officers up and down the coast trying to count those fish to make sure they understood how many were caught.
Yeah.
So they're claiming that the 9,165 fish were caught with 10,000 anglers.
Wow.
In the 2 days, right? That's what they're claiming. So we have another season coming up this fall. 7,500 is for the fall harvest coming up.
Nice. Okay.
So that'll happen in September 29th and 30th.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, another big one that I know you had a big hand in, what that has recently happened was sand bass. And that was a thing that was on the ropes. And, yet again, here was a thing that none of us thought twice about. And, you go about your daily fishing and all of a sudden we all turned around, and all of a sudden sand bass was about to be off the table for all of us. And CCA as well as SAC. And I know a lot of people put up a very hard fight, and again, a hugely successful
it's a stay of execution right now, because it's still on the plate.
Okay.
All we did was say, give us a time to get the data that you're missing to tell the story that you guys are falsely representing right now. That's what the story was.
Okay.
They used a bunch of old data and false data to create a storyline that didn't meet what was actually going on the water.
Yeah.
What we believe is, and this is what we think happened. When you do all these studies, you go out and you do a survey, or multiple surveys. By the time you look at that, analyze it, put it in your charts and present it, it's 3 years later. That cycle has already possibly shifted and it's already bottomed out and it's coming up. But by the time they want to do regulation changes, it's already too late. They didn't take their foot off the pedal when it was going on the down cycle. Now they want to take their foot off the pedal on the up cycle.
Yeah.
And that's what we believe. Right now, the sand bass are coming back hard, right? They're everywhere.
Yeah, great fishing up and down the coast.
SAC is doing their surveys. CCA Cal has their STAR tournament, which there's a sand bass for big ones and shorts.
I thought that was such a good idea.
And they just did a survey on one of the boats up in Orange County. They caught 600 bass in one day. They had two CDFW people, which one of them was the CDFW person for the sand bass.
Okay,
Armand.
Awesome.
He was on the boat, 600 bass, and they measured every one of them.
Awesome.
Wow.
So what we're going to be able to show with this data and surveying that we're doing, the breadth of the amount of sand, where the sand bass are, the amount of biomass that's out there, which we kept claiming, and that there's all age classes, which they kept claiming there weren't. That's why the shorts are so important. And that's why we need everybody to be participating in these surveys, especially the guys that are inside doing the kayaks and the inshore that can catch the sand bass, because they're not out on the flats.
Yeah.
Small fish don't stay out there unless they want to die because they become bait.
So showing a population of sublegal fish has become more important than anything.
Correct.
I didn't know
because
that.
what they were claiming that there wasn't that population
Okay.
out there, and that if we go and hit the spawning class during the summer, that we were going to cripple the future.
Yeah,
that was their argument.
Their argument was there's nothing to replenish those,
and
you
that's
take
nothing
the big ones
farther,
out. There's nothing left.
Nothing farther from
Brutal.
the truth.
Yeah,
we
totally.
have all age classes out there right now, and in quantities.
And again, that is why part of the Star Tournament, the CCA Cal Star Tournament, was that sand bass, like every fish has a particular size that makes it a qualifier. Sand bass has its own unique category for sublegal fish.
Correct.
And it's its own thing because
Correct.
we want as much proof, as much data, as much info that there are a lot of sublegal size fish that are out there being caught.
Absolutely.
There's some people that just hate the term regulation, right? Like they just fret and they grit their teeth and it's just a bad thing. But
I'm not far from one of those people.
Right, I know, me too. me too. But
I'm not far from it.
But I'll sprinkle a little bit of goodness on it,
right.
right? Because look at the bluefin. Like
Totally.
we were freaked out. We're only going to be allowed two fish,
almost lost it,
right? And CCA and SAC and I mean saved us with two fish,
Totally.
which. Dude, I mean, I just saw the American Angler unload. Are you kidding me? Beautiful.
Have you
fish.
seen the cycle? This is interesting because when in 2015, when they came in, they were big. Remember that?
Yeah.
We were all throwing poppers and everything. And we had
Yes,
that
please.
age
I want
class.
that right now.
Yes. But if you look at what's happening, we went through a cycle of really big ones, and then they started trickling down to different age classes. And we got one fish that was tagged. Byzantine actually brought in one tagged fish from Japan. But if you're looking what happened last year, the age class changed a little bit. But then we came back with a passion right now where we have those big fish, but we also have those little schoolie
Small
fish.
ones.
In other words, there's that whole next class of fish coming through. And we believe those other big fish went back to spawn.
Wow.
Because you're not seeing those 400 pounders or 300
So there's a
pounders.
full cycle. Like
I think we went through the cycle.
So when Tim Extra was on here last weekend, he said they were coming up on a school of 8 to 10, 12 pound bluefin. Like, just like you're talking about,
Yeah.
right? Like that hasn't been here. That's new.
That's a new cycle coming through.
And guess what? He saw an 18-pound albacore
I don't
swiping
doubt
through
that.
the school.
Hey, no way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, from the wheelhouse looking down.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You've been gone.
Like unmistakable, the fins spread out. Like,
yeah.
Like,
I got to listen to the first
Yeah.
half of that show in the air, literally in the airport, like on the
Right.
airplane. Like I even was the guy that got tapped on the shoulder. Like, sir, you're gonna need to turn that off. You know, I was really into it. Like I got the first hour, and then I regrettably haven't hit the archive up to finish the second half hour with Tim and Duke. But it was really fun. That was a great show.
but just to know that age class, like you're
Yes.
talking about, is around. Like that's new.
Yeah.
Like that's come this year, right?
That's right. But
Incredible.
that's why our science is so important. Why we need to do these surveys. Why
Yeah.
people need to engage and help us with it. Because that information will feed into the International Tuna Commission. That is why we do these surveys, and it drives our future.
And we're in a great cycle of it right now. I mean, this to me, I mean, the setup is just so right for the rest of our summer going on right now. Like what our sport boats and day and a half and 3 day guys are doing right now, to me, it's just it's ideal. We still have that. The only thing that we could add to it is a little more daytime fly line fishing. Grab your 40-pound rod and just pick a bait out of the bait tank and cast it out in the sunshine where you're wearing your shorts to hook a fish that way. A little bit more of that, and it would just be perfection. But we have very good nighttime jig fishing going on right now of what I think are the perfect size ones. They're like call them 40 to 140s seems to be about the size of it. Lots of 60 and 80 pounders, plenty of 100 pounders, some big giant trophies that come in the mix, even some that are a slight less, some 30 pounders, but lots of good biting, nice fish to bring home. And then the daytime, we have seen a real increase this week in some of those big trophies on the kite, so the daytime has been, quality over quantity, and then the nighttime switches to quantity more than it's just been really good. And this yesterday morning at the landing was a wild one. Big weekend coming up, lots of boats going, which means lots of boats returning. Guys were so fired up that got off those last round. We just had a really fun morning at the tackle shop. It was that typical San Diego landings buzz. Everybody who was coming off the boat had epic trips. Everybody who was going out obviously was fired up because they're seeing the dock carts get pushed up and all the big tuna around. And then there's all the hot jig. Oh, they killed him on the Katy Perry. You got to buy this one. And it was just fun, man. It was a really, really good day. Lots of talk about Eddie bombs. Lots of talk about tungsten. It was just fun. It was a really, really good day. It's like what the landing is supposed to be when you come down.
The parking lot's packed.
It was packed,
It's
man.
packed. I walked into there. Oh my God, the parking! It must be summer.
Yeah, it was.
It happened.
It definitely happened.
It happened.
It was just that wildness of fun and great fishing, and the local fishing has been tremendous.
Insane, Rick. Insane. It's some of the best. Talk about regulation kind of stuff. Dude, I never thought the calico fishing could be this good. Seriously, it is hundreds of fish. I mean, up to 500-600 fish with maybe 300 released, 300, 250 kept.
But that's okay. That's our future again.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, they're
the white sea bass.
Yes.
Yeah, how about that?
Right?
You're catching it on a half-day twilight trip. You're catching it while you're catching calicos. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be stealthy and in the dark and be silent. They're catching them all up and down our coastline right now, and they're big.
You're talking my language.
All of the landings, all the way up and down the coast, all the local trips, you're seeing exactly 1s, 2s, 3s, and then that as always never tells the story. You nailed it, Wayne. The guys from the half day boat came in just freaking out. Our boat had 3 in the morning yesterday, but
3 they kept.
Three that they landed. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
3 they kept. There was probably another story of another 8 or 10. Oh, this one was hooked on an upside down spinning rod and it went around the anchor. There was all of those things. Also, it's cool, man. This is a great time to be fishing.
I think we're experiencing the cycle of chovy, man. Bring it on.
And squid.
Well,
squid.
This is so squid too. Most of these boats have squid, and it's wild what that can do for us too, man. They sure like it. Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're having a great time and so much fun stuff to talk about. So much good fishing going on, and then obviously having Wayne in here is just going to be a great show, Cory.
Oh, great conversation with good friends, and just man, from calico bass to bluefin, we've got Wayne Kotow in studio in the world headquarters here. And if you want to join us, we'd love for you to do so. You can give us a call. First hour, we're on the Fan at 97.3 The Fan, and the telephone number 833-288-0973, or you can send us a text via the app, and that's only done through the app. You want to make sure that you leave your name and telephone number, because at the end of the show, Wayne's going to flip the prize coin to see whether we're giving away that full day trip on the San Diego to a lucky caller or a lucky texter. Man, somebody's going fishing on the San Diego with Brawler. I know, right? I mean, some perfect action, calico, few barracuda, a couple yellowtail. Hey, we're going to be right back with Wayne Kotow in the world headquarters on 97.3 The Fan, YouTube, Facebook Live, and Let's Talk Hookup.
Looking for the ultimate Alaska fishing experience and the best value in Alaska? Look no further than Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. A trip to Kingfisher includes everything you need to make your experience legendary. The finest fishing fleet in Sitka with the best captains, deluxe accommodations, gourmet food, world-class fish processing, and the best part, it's all included for one amazing price. Kingfisher is Let's Talk Hookup's most popular destination. Hundreds of listeners have experienced Kingfisher Charters, and most go back again and again. You have probably heard a lot of big promises from other Alaska lodges, only to find There were lots of hidden charges. Not Kingfisher. Everything is included. 10-hour fishing days, your license, fish processing, super deluxe accommodations, amazing food, airport transfers, and fishing gear. All you bring is your layer clothing, and Kingfisher covers the rest. Kingfisher Charters, your Alaska fishing destination. 800-727-6136 or check kingfishercharters.com.
This is Captain Tim Ekstrom from the long-range vessel Royal Star. With my partners Randy Toussaint and Brian Sims, we have set the bar for the long-range fishing experience. Spring 8-day, summer 5-day, or fly-down, fly-back 11-day winter trip, we deliver the highest quality long-range voyage you will find. From our premium RSW fish storage to our top-of-the-line chefs and crew, Royal Star distinguishes itself from all others. Want to grab a spot on the Royal Star? Check us out at royalstarsportfishing.com or call Tracy at 619-224-4764.
Pelagic is bringing back the California Tuna Challenge. Get ready for the most exciting tournament to hit the West Coast on August 22nd and 23rd. It's about the fun, it's about the tuna, and it's about your chance to cash in on big prizes. An affordable $500 entry fee per team gets you in. This fun 2-day format is open to all Southern California anglers with 3 official weigh stations in San Diego, Newport, and Catalina. Optional jackpots and side bets up to $41,000 all in will raise the stakes for huge cash payouts, including options for yellowtail and dorado. The big tuna are here. Win some major cash and bragging rights in the ultimate California offshore showdown. Registration is now open. Go to pelagictournaments.com for additional information, rules, and to register for this great fishing event. The Pelagic California Tuna Challenge, August 22nd and 23rd. Just $500 gets your team a shot at the ultimate California tuna bragging rights. Check pelagictournaments.com.
Turner's Outdoorsman, Southern California's #1 shooting, hunting, and fishing tackle retailer since 1971, is right in your neighborhood. Now with stores throughout Southern, Central, and Northern California. No one does it better. Turner's Outdoorsman brings you the best prices and selection, plus a knowledgeable staff that will help make your day on the water or in the field more fun. Stop by your neighborhood Turner's Outdoorsman. To find a location nearest you, check the web at turners.com and sign up for special deals and more.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. And like mentioned, Wayne Kotow in the World Headquarters. Had great conversation, good fun, and good stories, and talking good stuff. And you want to join us, 833-288-0973, or you can send us a text, a message, a question or comment for Wayne via the app.
No doubt. You know, we got a lot of great phone calls coming. And just like Cory said, if you want to get through there, Kyle is standing by this morning. It's 833-288-0973. But I wanted to start off this morning with a text. I just thought this was a fun one from our buddy Rory in Lakeside. Says, good morning, guys. Can't thank CC enough for everything you do. Wayne, now that you're, quote, retired, are you getting a lot more fishing in? My big question for Wayne is, what are the fisheries that you've dabbled in most recently, and what do you consider your favorite? Also, Cory, I picked up some white fluke-style MCs. They've been great. That purple and pink sheen that you have is my favorite. Do you prefer a weighted hook, or do you like the sled head on those? Great show, guys, from Rory and Lakeside.
Interesting. Yes, I'm starting to get into more fishing now that the first quarter's gone. I actually have fishing trips lined up every month, at least once every month for the rest of the year.
That's the way to go.
Boy.
And this year,
you're going to Cedros right now, right?
I doubled up this month. Something came up, and an opportunity with Rosie came up, and I'll be on the Let's Talk Hookup trip next week. So I just got back from Alaska. I'm here for a week, and then I go to Cedros.
Nice. Come on. Right on,
That's
Wayne.
the retired life.
That's
Now
how
we're
we
talking.
do it, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Doing the fishing down at Cedros right now.
I'm going to Alaska to Cedros. Yeah. And look at what they're doing there.
You're right.
Same thing, man. It is wide open. You can get the trifecta in a day, right?
Yeah.
Or even more than that, because you can get the yellowtail, the halibut, and the white sea bass on top of all the bass and everything else.
Cool.
Sheep's head. I mean, it's all going on right now. So timing's great.
Yeah, dude, such good time.
All right, fishing an MC fluke. How do you like to rig it? You sled head, traditional lead head, a weighted hook.
The sled head bugs the heck out of me. There's not a big enough hook. Okay, that's out. Guys
you didn't take long on that one.
No,
that's out.
Guys are drop shotting them.
Okay.
I mean, like the whole fluke thing up and down the coast. It's like the drop
crazy,
shot
right?
thing, right? I mean, Rick, that's something we were promoting 20 years ago. Do you remember?
Totally. Yeah.
Drop shotting, the whole thing. I even made a drop shot bait. Remember that? But so lead head for me is probably the one.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll get a lot more. The lighter the head you can get away with, the more redirection and zigging and zagging you'll get and drawing that reaction bite. That to me is the way to go.
You're less concerned with bottom contact, more concerned with that bait being able to find its own path and do its own thing.
I mean, the bite might be halfway down.
Mm-hmm.
It could be 10 feet off the bottom.
Sure.
But if you're anchored with a drop shot, I mean,
Yeah,
I
totally.
guess you're in the zone, right? But
Yeah.
but you're missing part of it. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I'm a fan of working the zone. With
Zone,
the bait.
yeah.
You never know where those fish are going to be, and you can work the water column, and that's what we did in Alaska to catch so many fish.
Right.
Work the water column.
Yeah, exactly.
And if a guy's fishing, you know, there's a lot of squid around. If a guy's wanting to fish an MC, you know, a fluke style bait, what's a common size of bait and a common lead head size? Like if you're jumping on the new Seaforth and you're going to go fish with those boys and fish some calico bass, and that's what you were thinking. How would you set that
So you
up?
might be in 60 to 90 feet of water, right? But the fish are lathered up and boiling on the surface. I mean, half ounce head.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, you know what? It's
Yeah,
small.
sure.
Like you want that fall not to go to 15 or 20 feet. You want to get bit at 5 feet,
Yeah.
right? So the heavier you go, just the more of a bullet you're sending out. So it's just
you're better off being lighter and letting it
Yes.
have the action to go down without just going through the water column.
And like I said, the lighter the head, the more redirection and the more. And by the way, I made a pile of those flukes for Fisherman's Landing.
Hey,
So
all right.
tomorrow I'll be unloading at
Sweet.
Fisherman's Landing. I know,
Okay.
sweet, dude. My hair's getting wider by the minute, man. It's
I
been a
can't
crazy
imagine.
year.
I walk such a delicate line because I know how busy Cory is, and I know he makes those baits, which still freaks me out and makes
Yeah.
zero sense that you make them one at a time. Every MC swim bait is made by hand, by you, poured one at a time. Still, dumbest thing in the world, but you just can't. You,
Right?
you
It is
have to
dumb,
do it.
I know, but here's the thing.
that's why they're perfect.
I don't know if I sound stressed. Maybe I look stressed. Dude, I am so overwhelmed. Seriously.
I
I
can't
mean, in a good
imagine.
way, in a very good way,
It-
because the calico fishing hasn't
Exactly.
been this good. It's been good,
Yeah.
but it has peaked to a level. I think the size limits and the quantity limit. I mean, it was kind of, it's taken 10 years.
Yeah.
About
2015. is
So,
when-
Rick, it's taken 10 years. And it is seriously, it's the calico fishing is reminiscent of that of the early 90s.
I love that.
Like it is legit.
Yeah.
It's fun. I mean, a 14-inch fish is a pound and a half,
Yeah, it's a nice fish.
right?
Yeah.
There's so many like 2-pounders.
Yeah.
Like it's beautiful.
And it's so good. And
Yes.
it's so good everywhere. All the way up and down the coast, the calico bass
Rick,
fishing is
I'm so
incredible.
busy and it's so good. It's like when the surf's up and the
Yeah.
surfboard shaper. I wish I could get out every hour and enjoy it, but
That's the thing. Like Cory's one of my best friends. Like
Yeah.
I know exactly how busy the guy. And then on the flip side, I go into the tackle store and I look and like we have a display of MC swim baits that we are very proud of, and it's big and there's a lot of them there. And I just watch it daily, just like evaporate, evaporate. And I'm always like, man, I'm gonna have to call Cory, but I know I'm gonna be like the 30th phone call to do like, hey man, we're out of 5-inch MCs. Just let you know.
This
I
is a
can't
note-
imagine keeping up.
This is a note to everybody out there. I when I was at the wholesaler, the one thing we always said was, if you love to fish, don't get in the fishing industry.
That's it.
Because when everything's hot, you got to work.
Yeah.
You're busy.
You better love pouring 5-inch Christmas tree viejos because there's a
Yeah.
lot of Cedros guys getting ready to go
Exactly.
south with the road. Like at some point we're gonna have to rename that bait the Rosie Special because
I
man,
know
like
it.
she is responsible for so many of that. Call it watermelon, call it Christmas tree, call it whatever you want. Boy, that Cedros crowd buys those by the handfuls.
Crazy.
Cory comes in every year and knowing that takes care of us with a lot of those, and you can always spot a guy that's getting ready for Cedros because he comes up to the counter with 2 handfuls and they're all those red and greens.
Yeah, so
it's
crazy.
pretty fun.
Rick. But sorry you're so empty
Oh,
right
I'm
now.
kidding.
But
It's
tomorrow,
I'm kidding. It's
tomorrow's
fun.
the unload, and
there
I'm
it is.
bringing what I have. And
Yeah.
I'm just, you know what? I'm grateful for you and the family shops I have, and for the customers and
Totally.
the listeners of the radio show that support it. And it's just from my heart. Seriously,
awesome,
it's a beautiful thing.
It's a fun thing for sure. Well, speaking of fun things, we got a lot of fun guys on the phone. Excited to talk to Wayne. Let's jump into the phones, Cory.
Let's do it. How about John? John calling from San Diego. Good morning, John.
What's up, John?
Good morning, guys. I thought it was really interesting. You're talking about how the Alaskan fishery is managed, and it seems like it's little more science-based and constantly adjusted based on the conditions that are observed. What do you think it would take to get California to have a more of a Alaskan model to manage our fisheries?
Everything's based on process. It doesn't matter if it's federal or if it's state. And our processes are based on fisheries management plans, stock assessments, analysis, and then forecasting. And that process is pretty set right now. The thing that we need to work on across Fed and state level is we need to be more dynamic because things change too quickly now. And the management plans are reactionary, not forward thinking. Every other industry I know of is just in time type methodologies of forecasting. We don't do that in fisheries management plan. We go out there and we look at what the stock is. We do an assessment. A lot of times they don't have the staff to do it. So then it's statistical. By the time you take that and do the analysis through a team, present that to a management body, whether that's Fish and Game Commission or Pacific Fisheries Management Council, they have to go and have open discussion, public input. By the time you do a regulation, it's a year later. God. You're behind. You're already looking in the past by 3 years. That's not dynamic enough.
That's
our fisheries
crazy.
change too fast. Yeah. And that's one of our problems. But we're stuck in process, and those are all written in code, in statute or procedures. And so to change that, we need to figure out how to do that. But you also don't want to lose your stability of your management actions. You don't want to be too reactionary where you're always going hot, cold, hot, cold. You can't do that either because that'll kill everybody. So it's not as simple as it sounds. We're all looking for a solution. We're all trying to think of a solution. If you guys come up with one, please get it to us. But right now, that is probably the biggest problem we have. We just can't be dynamic enough.
The other thing is, some of those places, Alaska certainly being one of them, the fish and the commercial fishing and the recreation. I mean, it's a huge part of industry of the state, amongst the very biggest, and that is managed very closely, for it. And it seems like all of the management is done on behalf of the fish and the success of fisheries here. And I could be wrong, and Wayne, you would know much better than I, but it has the feeling that some people who are on, whether it be Fish and Wildlife Committee, they're not everybody is pro fishing, here. And in some of those states that are managed that way, they very much are. And, here it's like a split decision between people who are all for it. And I hate to say that, there's people who are just not.
Yeah. Alaska is very fishing centric, right? Mm-hmm. Between recreational and commercial. It's so large to them. They have to stay focused on it more. Ours, it's one sport of how many out here, right? Yeah. We have so many options out here. In California, recreational fishing is worth $6 billion to California. So that is not a small chunk, right? No. We should get more emphasis on recreational fishing than we do, just because of our input to the income to the state.
Yeah, that's a big number.
It's a big chunk.
It is a big number.
Yeah. So, we have a million anglers in California.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, really.
For how hard it is and expensive it is, we're one of the most expensive licenses in the country.
You're right.
Right.
And I had a friend in Florida, explaining to me, you're a senior citizen, it's free.
Yeah.
We
tried that. We tried to get that.
and the other thing, we had the gentleman on from, I forget, Rhode Island. And I heard in Florida too, it's the same. If you're going out on a charter boat, you're going out on a 4-pack, your license is part of his, you don't have to purchase a license.
Correct. But there's also different regulations. There's other ways of doing process, right? So in some states like Alaska, a 6-pack operator has a different regulation than if I went out private boat.
Yeah.
Right. There's a different limit, a different allowance of what you can catch and how much you can keep. So there's other ways of regulating. Ours are very complex. If you ever look at our book of regulations, Ricky, you know as much as I do. I love Baja.
I do.
Right?
Absolutely.
It's one piece of paper.
Yeah.
They seem to work for them.
Yeah.
I don't know why ours are so complex.
And they still get their money.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
No doubt about it. Well, hey, a great phone call. Very much. Real quick, we had another fun text. Says, hey, guys, this is Richard from Sacramento. I fished the first day of the salmon season and the last day of the salmon season out of Bodega Bay. It was a wild riot of boats and fish. It was hot, hot, hot. So fun to be out there, and my old lucky lures to see if they still work. Either way, it was a blast, and we had a great time, and that was from Richard.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Glad you got to be able to go out there. Now go albacore fishing.
Yeah, exactly. I liked the first day and the last. Why don't we jump back to the phones, Cory?
Let's do it, Rick. How about Jeff? Jeff calling from Huntington Beach. Good morning. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup, Jeff.
What's up, Jeff?
Good morning, guys. Nice surprise to see you on the show this morning, Wayne Kotow. And I just want to thank you for all you've done for us anglers in California. And even though you're retired, I want to thank you for what you're going to do in the future, because I know you won't stop. Appreciate everything. I'm going to participate as much CCA events as I can. And I want to say, and I was part of the Zoom calls for the sand bass, and I can't believe after getting out off Orange County and catching all those bass that we almost lost them. The only thing we're missing was the Barracuda schools. But, and speaking of white sea bass, nice little white sea bass you got on that jig, Wayne, daytime. Not south, but just a perfect hookup.
Yeah, that was during the Don Hansen day. Got it. The last thing was hooked on a jig was a white sea bass.
That's awesome.
Unfortunately, it was a 1/4 inch short.
Oh,
it was right there. But that was a cool bite on light tackle.
It seems like a lot of small ones around, and I don't mean small.
Okay.
I mean
that's part of the hatchery program.
I know it's beautiful. Yeah,
it shows that we have the age classes out there. It shows that we have. I mean, the big ones are being caught. We have biomass. We have abundance. We have age class. Those are the 3 things you need.
At the Pete's Beacon Award, I spoke with Trowbridge from Raising Them, right?
Okay.
And he was saying that there was an emergency thing a few years ago where they had to, with the red tide in the lagoon, and they had to get an emergency release of the white sea bass.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're getting those back.
Yeah. If you
they're getting signal of those coming back.
Yeah, the good news is that we're having this phenomenal white bass season. The great news is that the anglers are listening and they're turning in heads. We're doing a fin clip program. We've had more heads turned in that had coated wire tags this year. Multiples from San Diego releases, Carlsbad release, Channel Islands and Marina del Rey.
So cool.
And they're all out at the islands, right?
Cool.
That's where they're being caught. They've been out there for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right. We're catching these fish.
How cool.
But remember when they were doing that white sea bass survey or that report that said we didn't have a detrimental or a good effect on the biomass out there, the stock?
Yeah.
It was crap. You know why? Because we're showing it right now. Where are those fish?
Yeah.
They're at the islands. They didn't let us use Catalina, San Clemente, or the Channel Islands. They cut it off at Palos Verdes.
Oh.
So guess where all the fish are at?
Out there,
we didn't do it.
Yeah.
And now look at the fish. They're all along our shoreline. But guess where they're at? They're in all the MPAs because that's where all the kelp is.
Yeah.
We can't fish there anymore.
So crazy.
So the fish are there. We're just not getting credit for all that fish. But this year, we're showing it up.
How cool.
We're doing the surveys.
That's awesome.
It's such great information, Wayne. Hold tight. We're going to be right back. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, not only on 97.3 The Fan, but YouTube, Facebook Live, and the Let's Talk Hookup app.
Rock Cod Rick here to tell you about Parker Boats and the guys at West Coast Marine. By now, you all know my boat partner and I bought a new 25 Parker center console from crew at West Coast Marine in Costa Mesa. We've known for a long time that a Parker was the boat for us. It's a stout workhorse of a boat built to last and get you home when the seas get rough. Parker Boats at the launch ramp, the offshore tuna grounds. You wake up in the morning on an overnight trip, and there they are. Parker Boats of all sizes, fishing in the same areas as the sporties. There's a good reason for it: fishability and seaworthiness. West Coast Marine has several new Parkers in stock and ready for delivery. And they have more on the way. Don't get caught without a reliable boat when fishing is this good. Take it from me, if you're ready for a new Parker at a fair, upfront, and honest deal, you need to see West Coast Marine. Check out the inventory and information at westcoastmarine.com.
When you're offshore fishing, the right gear makes all the difference, and that includes Fujinon stabilized binoculars from Baker Marine. Baker Marine has been selling binoculars for decades, and more importantly, they service all brands right at their San Diego Shelter Island location. Need the best? The Fujinon Staboscope is the professional's choice. Looking for top-tier stabilization at a great price? The Fujinon TechnoStabi TSX 1440 delivers rock-steady vision even in rough waters. perfect for serious anglers. Baker Marine is the largest Fujinon retailer on the West Coast, and when you buy from them, they will be there when your binoculars need service. Plus, they'll give you a great price on all their in-stock Fujinon binoculars. Stop by their store on Shelter Island in San Diego and test a pair of Fujinon binoculars and see which one is right for you. The fishing season is here, and you know you need a pair of stabilized binoculars. So get them from the experts at Baker Marine. Learn more at bakermarine.com.
One rod has set the standard for serious saltwater anglers worldwide, and that's CalStar. From the rugged dependability of the West Coast series, the lightweight strength of the Graphiter, or the performance of the GG series, all CalStar rods are handmade right here in Southern California of the finest materials and craftsmanship. Check out the new CalStar models now available, as well as upgrades to the classic rods that you know and love. If you want your tackle to be state-of-the-art tools to get the job done right, it's CalStar at fine tackle dealers.
Have you been looking for a live bait hook that keeps live bait alive? Look no further than Japan's leading fish hook, Gamakatsu. It's the little things that make the difference, and Gamakatsu hooks drive the point home. With an absolute perfect bend and ideal barbs, your bait swims harder and longer. And when you get bit, Gamakatsu hooks bite back with a vengeance. All hooks are not the same. Go with Gamakatsu for infinite success. Gamakatsu. Simply the best. Check gamakatsu.com.
All right. Welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup, and having so much fun in the world headquarters with Wayne Kotow. And
talking squids during the break.
Dude, it's all kinds of stuff, man.
From little guys to big Humboldts, man. It's everywhere right
but
now.
But it comes from the beautiful cycle we're in. You know,
totally.
The market squid around, anchovy, and just all the short sea bass. I mean, there's so many on the half-day boats up and down the coast. Well, you talk illegal sea bass, it's beautiful, right? Yeah. But there's so many like 10, 12 to 22 pounds. Yes. And that just tells you there's a healthy number of fish, man.
Our fishery is very healthy. If it wasn't, you wouldn't see all this life out there.
Yes.
Think about all the whales that are in and all the other mammals that are around, and everything's happening right now. It's a cycle we go through. The one caveat I gotta say, or hesitant, is that they're going to do a hake, sardine, anchovy survey. National Marine Fisheries Service is going to do it this year. But what do you think that's going to show on the sardines?
Well,
it's a cycle, right? We're on the down cycle of sardine, up cycle on squid and anchovy.
We've talked on it here many a times because I fished sardine and anchovy, and they mix, but they're oil and water, and not one of them. They don't survive together in the same numbers. One over surpasses the other.
And we all went through this cycle when we all grew up, and we only had anchovy. Nobody knew what a sardine was. Then we went through this period, and the kids today only know what a sardine is, don't know what an anchovy was, right? Now we're in the cycle going back the other way. But when they go and do that survey and those sardine are around, what are they going to show us in 3 years when they get to the cycle change? The environmentalists are going to jump all over this and say, oh my God, the stock is crashing and we're going to have to fight for our live bait fishery.
But Wayne, that's why we have you, Chris, and Tony with CCA. And like Rick and I were talking on here a couple weeks ago, we don't have deep pockets, right? Rick and I don't have deep pockets, but we help in the small ways that we can, and go to the events and spend $100, spend $200 on raffle tickets, and have fun with it. You know, when's the next event, by the way?
Good.
Next event I think is up in Orange County.
Okay.
It's the golf tournament.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, I'm trying to think through it.
Leave him alone. He's retired.
Right?
I'm just kidding.
I'm going to phone in a friend.
He's going to Cedros.
Yeah, he didn't even know he was going to be on the show 2 days ago.
I think it's the Orange County golf event, I think.
But go to the events, man.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah,
They're great times.
Yeah,
totally. Well, hey, we got a packed set of phones. If you want to get your chance to get through, it's 833-288-0973. Let's jump back into them, Cory.
Let's do that. And how about Tommy from Sorrento Mesa? Good morning, Tommy.
What up, Tommy?
That would be the famous Tommy P.
Is it Tommy P?
Wayne.
Oh,
there it is.
Wayne retired.
Tommy P.
Let's go fishing.
Did we lose him?
Oh, did we?
Oh, no, Tommy. There he is.
Come on, man.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah. Hey, you're going to Cedros,
So,
huh?
Yeah, it looks like I'm lucky enough to go on the Let's Talk Hookup trip Monday. And I was just wondering, Cory, maybe some tips for that big calico that I'm looking for, and also your connection. What is it? Are snaps can you use snaps or direct tie or a loop knot or whatever? So give me the juice there if you can.
Tommy, you don't need any information from me, man. You got it all. No, Cedros, how do you go wrong? I mean, it's just, there's so many.
Too light a line.
Right? There's a lot of 3 to 4 pounders and up to 5. And it's just, how do you cycle through and get a 9 or 10 pounder? That's just the cycle of the game. I mean, I'd try to go bigger maybe. And connection, I'm a back-to-back uni guy, or I've done that. And the RP knot is like my current thing. RP knot. And I am not a clip guy. Are you a clip guy, Rick?
I hate clips.
I hate clips.
I mean, I probably shouldn't say that. I know there's a lot of great tackle manufacturers that like them, and I know a lot of people use them. I'm not a clip guy.
I'll tell you what's happened with me and clips. A simple 8 to 9 pound cabria will open them up. Okay. And so they pull hard. I mean, Wayne's looking at me with big old eyes, and they don't like completely open it up to where it's jacked up and ruined, but they open it up enough to where now your knot is slipping through that little crack and it's now opened up. So if I'm after a 10-pound calico or a 20-pound yellow, for me personally, I'm direct tying.
I always say the same thing in the shop. To me, speed clips are just like Velcro shoes. You can tell me it's faster all you want, but at the end of the day, you know it ain't right.
Right.
You know it's not the right move.
And I know what I'm using.
It's faster, but man, I don't need. I got that extra couple of seconds. I can tie a pair of shoes.
I have seen it fail more than the 3 times I tried it. That failed 3 times. How about that? That's all I need to know.
Tommy P, are you wearing Velcro shoes on the boat?
Do we still have him?
I hope so.
Dude, he's packing his stuff for Cedros. When do you guys leave, Wayne?
Monday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we leave Monday.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing the report from Rosie here a little later in the show and find out what's going on. But in the meantime, we got another report from our buddy Mike Lum is on the line right now. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good morning, guys. I thought I better hurry and call in before Wayne slips out on another fishing trip because I wanted to thank him for his help at the captain's reception, the Rollo captain's reception last Sunday night over at Dana Landing. We had a very nice event and raised a lot of money for the kids. And Wayne had been on a nonstop 2-day run from Alaska, got home just in time to grab the stuff and come over and help us at that event. I was so happy and also pleased that he was willing to do that for us. And he made a big help on the auction and running the PA system and the music and all that stuff. Wayne, I just want to tell you thank you for all your help.
Absolutely, my pressure. You know what? I will do everything I can to help the Captain Rollo's Kids at Sea program at all times. It's such a good program. It helps us. That's our future. Taking kids fishing.
And I regrettably wasn't able to make this year, but it sounded like it was a great event. We had a lot of people coming after the fact. We had a lot of people from the tackle store coming the next day that weren't even participating on the send-off of the trip, but just talk about what a great time it was and such a fun venue over at Dana Landing and good food, and just sounded like an awesome time, Mike.
Yeah, we had a nice event, and the trip, the 2 boats that went out, the Tomahawk and the Liberty, both got into the Bluefin, and there were some real quality fish caught. And Captain Dave Marciano's team, Hard Merchandise, they ended up winning this year.
Oh.
So their teammates will all get embroidered jackets sent to them. But this is the 10th Tuna Wars that we've had, and we were so pleased and just appreciative that those guys continue to come out here from the East Coast and help us and help the kids and everybody. It takes a giant team effort to pull this thing off. And today, more than ever, with all the other fundraisers, very, very good causes that all need help financially, we are so appreciative of the people that come out and buy the raffle tickets and bid on the auction items. And the folks up at Batson Enterprises are just amazing. They continue to come down from Washington, and they bring a bunch of ultra custom rods. We had one of Jim Trelakis' rods that was a Batson Rain Shadow blank that he'd been working on for a long time, and we broke a record. We sold that rod for $3,000.
Wow, awesome!
$3,000 for that rod, and the others went for a lot as well. And people know it's not only the rod, but it's the fact that you're helping those kids and you're putting that many more kids on boats because you're willing to be generous like that. And we super appreciate everybody that was there. So,
Man.
Wayne, thank you for all you do to help us. And of course, thank you for everything you continue to do to help the entire industry with your efforts with CCA.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. But man, it's a team effort, right? I mean, what you and Tim and Howard do, Harold at the helm, I mean, and all the other guys that are on the board, everybody chips in. It's a team effort, and all the volunteers. I mean, it takes an army to put off one of these events, and we make it look seamless to the public, right? So it's all good.
Well, as long as everybody has a good time, they don't need to know all the effort that went in behind it. The bottom line is we all do it for the same reason. We want to see these kids get on the ocean for the very first time. And we say it over and over and over. That's what all of these events are about. Every time we do one, the money that goes in the bank puts more kids on boats. It's as simple as that. So thanks all of you guys for all your help.
Well
Appreciate
said,
it.
buddy. That's awesome, Mike.
That's
Appreciate
good
it very
stuff.
much. Congratulations on another great event. And, the bottom line is more kids are getting to go fish it because of everybody's generosity. And well said. Awesome, Mike. Appreciate it very much. We'll look forward to talking to you real soon.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I want to mention something. I went by Summit Gasoline this morning, Rick. $4.25 a gallon.
Whoa!
Like where can you find it for $4.25?
It's over $5 at my corner gas
Dude,
station.
I saw it for $4.25. Maybe it changed the minute I left.
That's
maybe it
awesome.
went down. Who knows? But I just want to say that Summit Gasoline at the San Diego Sports Arena. It's a place to fill up your car, truck, boat. Has the lowest gas and diesel prices. I did also see several skiffs, 21 to 24 foot, filling up and getting their free ice.
That's the no doubter.
And it's all right there at Summit Gasoline. And they have all those snacks at 89 cents, 40 different snacks at 89 cents. Now you get burritos and sandwiches for your trip, all made fresh daily. And it's nearly half the price of the other places. $3.99 for a 25-pound bag of ice.
That's crazy.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And
if
it's
you
25, not a 20. It's half the price.
and if you buy 35 gallons of fuel, you get 100 pounds of free ice. It's crazy. That's why all the skiffs were there. Hey, we're going to be right back with Wayne Kotow when we return on the Let's Talk Hookup app. If you're on 97.3 The Fan, tune into the app. We'll be right back.
This is Pete Gray to tell you about my fishing buddy Dan Hume and his amazing company, Hume Termite. As you know, Southern California is infested with termites. It's a constant battle for anyone who owns a home, and that's where Hume Termite come in. They're strictly termite experts. They start with a thorough inspection to find out why you have termites in the first place, then recommend sustainable treatment options that work. Hume Termite has been controlling my termites for years, and I have recommended them to numerous friends. Did you know 99% of termite companies are commission-based? Not Hume Termite. They're all salaried employees, and with a thorough inspection, they'll help you solve your termite problems. Not sell you something you don't need. Let Dan and his crew earn your business through customer service and trust. It's swarming season, and now is the time to call Hume Termite at 760-598-2201. They'll come out and give you honest answers to solve your termite issues. Check HumeTermite.com.
Hey guys, this is Ali Husseini from Local Knowledge and BD Outdoors. I'm a lucky guy in so many ways, and one thing I'm really grateful for is my little brother, Yosef. Yosef is not only a fellow angler, but he's also an amazing realtor that specializes in helping us in the angling community find the ultimate home. If you own a home, get a free no-obligation evaluation online now by typing in SoCalHomeEval.com. That's SoCalHomeEval.com. All you do is put in your address and you'll get a home value report immediately sent to your email. No pressure, no obligations, just answers. Yosef is the SoCal real estate go-to guy. He's helped me and so many of my fellow fishing buddies find what they're looking for in a home. He knows anglers and he understands the real estate market. Not only that, but he's also a really nice guy. How many brothers can you say that about? Go to SoCalHomeEval.com and find out where you stand in the real estate market, and then get with Yosef and find your ultimate home. Again, go to SoCalHomeEval.com and we'll see you on the water.
For local or long-range fishing, we have you covered. Hi, this is Doug Kern from Fisherman's Landing Tackle, the saltwater tackle professionals. Being a part of the San Diego Sport Fishing Landing gives us a distinct advantage when it comes to getting you on the latest and hottest tackle for your trip. Our expert staff knows exactly what you need for your long-range or local trip, and we will not sell you something you don't need. We carry a huge inventory of the right tackle. So visit us at Fisherman's Landing Tackle at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego. The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Our hardworking crew will make your fishing experience one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. All our open party trips can be easily booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
The fish are biting and it's time to go. Hi, this is Ben, and you will see me at my dad's shop, Dana Landing in Mission Bay, or maybe in front of the shop on my kayak. It doesn't matter if you are out there on a kayak with me, on your boat, headed out on a sport boat. Dana Landing has everything you need. We call it the one-stop shop for a great day on the water because it truly is. Food, bait, tackle, beverages, and more. Our tackle shop, headed by John, is certainly one of the best. For freshwater tackle, nothing beats East County Bait and Tackle. These guys have the best rods and reels and the hottest lures and live bait. Our newest shop is Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle with a great stock of both fresh and saltwater tackle right in the heart of Lemon Grove. ECBT is at the end of the 67 freeway on Mapleview and Lakeside. Lemon Grove Bait and Tackle, 94 to Broadway in Lemon Grove, and Dana Landing is next to the Dana Lawn Tramp in Mission Bay. Check out danalanding.com for more details.
Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Cory Sanden.
Welcome back. Hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, coming your way on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live. Having a great time. Enjoyed a great first hour also on 97.3 The Fan. We appreciate everybody listening on the app here, having a lot of fun. Boy, we are having a great show this morning. Our great buddy, Wayne Kotow, the captain, retired captain of CCA, is joining us, and we're talking a lot of fun, talking a lot of fishing, and enjoying hearing Wayne's fishing stories, but also keeping us up to date with all the great stuff that's going on. That is everything CCA, and we sure appreciate having him in here, and we appreciate having you. It's been a great morning, a great first hour, and we're just looking forward to keeping it going for hour number 2.
I agree with you, Rick, and we're taking all text here for the second hour, and appreciate you joining in on the app or YouTube and Facebook Live, or maybe just listen to the archives, further while you're driving during the week. And
might be hearing us next week.
A lot of people do that, right? So appreciate you joining in, and we're giving away a full day trip on the San Diego. So we're going to take the callers, one lucky caller from the first hour and text her from the full 2 hours, and we'll have Wayne flip the prize coin, and that full day trip on the San Diego going to a lucky listener or caller.
What great fishing those guys have been having too, right? Like fun variety, Coronado Islands fishing, shallow water, fly line and live bait, or fishing a little slider, and there's squid, and there's chovy, and there's sardine, and there's
a mix of bass and
whitefish
barracuda
and bonus yellows. It's just cool,
right?
Just cool fishing. And you get to go down and hang out in San Diego and enjoy that fantastic crew and get a great cheeseburger on the way home. It's just good living, man. I love it.
You're a salesman, man. I'm already there.
I'm ready to go right now.
Julian, I want a cheeseburger.
I'm ready to go right now.
I know. So much fun.
Well, we're certainly having a great time here this morning. In this second hour, it's all about the text, like Cory said, and we're looking forward to reading your text and having a great time with you today and just talking a whole lot of fun with Wayne. And before we get to that, it's time to find out what's biting for our private boater buddies. And Mark Wish, our private boater buddy, is standing by right now. Cory?
I know. I can't wait. And it's brought to us by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. It's where you get your premier processing experience. You can check out their easier online system to book your processing for your long-range trips. And with more team members, Fisherman's Processing stays far ahead of the rest. More same-day capacity and the finest customer service. You can stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street, or you can just check them out at fishmansprocessing.com. And don't forget to make your reservation today.
That's it. Well said.
Yes.
Well, with that, we got him standing by. We got the man, Captain Mark Wish, online. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Ricky, Cory, Wayne. Great show. Too bad my old buddy Jim couldn't make it. I hope you're feeling better, buddy.
Yes.
But, yeah, you guys are doing a fantastic job. So guess what, guys? Our first week of the summer season here, it did not disappoint. There's just been some incredible fishing here in Southern California for the private boat fleet. And man, you put together nice weather, perfect moon phase, good water conditions. It all lined up this week and turned into some really great catches for a lot of guys there. So up north, those guys are really in for a treat, because when I looked at the NOAA weather, no watches, no warnings, no nothing, completely blank, which is quite a change for up there. There's been some wind, but those guys up there at Rosa and Cruz and Anacapa, man, they're going to make it tough on the local sea bass and halibut populations here these next few days. There's fish at all 4 islands there. Imagine it's going to be pretty spectacular. So we're going to stand by for some reports from San Nicolas. It was out there in the weather, but it's nice now. So haven't heard much the last few days, but that'll change. Santa Barbara Island, that little tiny island, gets maligned. A lot of guys don't like it. I personally love it. There's been some big days at the little island here this week. Sea bass in the bowl. Best fish I heard of was 52 pounds. That's a nice one.
Wow.
Yeah. And tanker grade yellows at the Boiler Ridge and the Northeast 10, and big halibut scattered all the way around the island there. It's just been pretty darn good fishing. At Cometi, Cometi was a little slow to get started this season, more than a little slow actually. But a bunch of fish have moved in, and it's been really good there. Big yellows and sea bass in the cove, both of them there on the bait grounds, deeper water, more towards China now. School-sized yellows up on the front side there, but it's just much improved at Cometi. Thank goodness. It's kind of weird start for sure. And then offshore, now the main bluefin tuna zone is still way out west, and for a lot of private boat guys, I mean, it's just out of reach, even though the weather's pretty decent now. But it's out there between the west end of Cometi and Nick, around the 7-Eleven now. It's kind of creeping up that water edge out there. But what's interesting is there's hints of some closer stuff finally waking up. First marlin of the year was seen here a few days back. Want to thank the pilots from the commercial fleet for a beautiful picture of this marlin swimming along with a whole school of mackerel right behind him. Thanks for that picture, Carl. It's fantastic. The hint of kelp patty yellows, 209, 312 zone. There's been a little bit seen, and probably more to come, especially with the nice weather. A lot of guys looking around. And then a quick flash of bluefin in the Leah Cometi on the inside and tight to the island there. So then we're up along. I think there was a couple hooked, one caught, and then it was gone. But it's a shape of things to come. So be ready, guys. And then over at Catalina, kind of saved it for last here. Got to talk about the catch of the week here. So I had friends over there. Catalina's been good. It's all the local kelpine critters are biting. Bass fishing over there, it's just been ferocious. You get on a little reef or ridge or kelp line and throw a few dippers, anchovies, and they just go nuts. But I had friends over there on a brand new Grady White. They're just kind of learning the island, getting the program figured out. They did not have any squid yesterday, just anchovies only. And they were catching a few bass here and there. And they're up toward the isthmus about noontime yesterday and getting ready to call it, chumming out the bait. Bass are boiling. And one guy, now, Cory, you maybe want to cover your ears here for just a second.
Okay,
you might not want to hear this. Well, they're jumping out the anchovies. Bass are boiling. And one guy drops a hookup bait over the side.
Yeah.
And like 10 feet down, they see this big chrome flash. And guess what? They hook one of them big sea bass that happened to live on that spot. And they captured him fair and square. It was like a 40-pounder. I got a beautiful picture
How cool.
of it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right. Man, you talk about ninth inning, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and last cast.
Literally.
Catch of the day. So,
Oh,
yeah.
how
It was,
cool.
these guys had never even seen a fish like that.
That's incredible, Mark.
That'll spoil you.
Mark, this squid that we have up and down the coast, which is partially part of the bite, right? Like when was the last time you saw the amount of squid that we're seeing from down here to beyond you?
It's good to see.
Yes.
It's been a few years, that's for sure.
Yeah.
10 years like that since we had a lot of that squid along the coast. And, we had all that squid there in the San Clemente Dana Point sector, for that checkpoint bite, which was nothing short of fantastic.
Yeah.
For a long time, and the amount of big fish on that. Oh my God. I mean, I was just staggered on some of the days we had down there in the middle of the night on the grade of fish we were catching. But yeah, it's awesome to see the bait. And, even Catawina's got a lot of bait for this time of year. Bait showed up at Clemente, a little bit of bait over there. And it's just good news. It's just overall, everything just seems like it's really coming together this year. It's looking really good. And, you guys have obviously been talking about it throughout the show here. It's
like a repeat
really
of the early
gratifying.
2000s. That's what we're looking at right now. It's the repeat, right? We had the squid, we had the anchovies, we had all the brown bait in, the barracuda, the albacore days.
Right.
I mean, it's really that repeat right now is going on. And look at the white sea bass coming back. It's just so good out there right now. It's beautiful.
A lot of our business in my tackle store is based on the local sand bass, barracuda, bonita, like that. In the past few years, that sand bass fishing was tough for whatever reason. And this year, holy crap, they just amazed everybody. I mean, you gotta say, they're seeing huge sonar schools. They're seeing color spots of the fish up on the surface swimming around, Huntington Beach, like 5 miles from my store. It's just amazing to see all that bass showing up all up and down the coast here. So
could you imagine if
it's a good time to be a private boater? There's so much going on.
You got that right, Bo. Well, speaking of private boaters, if somebody wants to get the best information and even better yet, the best bait tanks, Mark, how do we find you at Pacific Edge?
Well, we're in Huntington Beach. We're in the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger by the big Chevron station. The phone is 714-840-4262. The website's pacificedgetackle.com. And, man, it is time to go fishing, guys.
You say,
as good
Mark,
as it gets around
you say
here.
that after most of your reports, but it really rings true this week, man. It is definitely time to go. It's firing on all cylinders. A great report, as always, buddy. We sure appreciate it, and we will look forward to talking to you next week.
Okay, we got it. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Well, if you love a great fishing report like that and you want to keep up with the best of info, that fishdope.com is where it's at. You can save $30 off of a new membership to fishdope.com by using the code Hookup Now. It's all lowercase, no space. Hookup Now saves you $30 off of a yearly membership, and sure appreciate Mark and Danny and all the boys doing such great info, keeping us up to date with what's going on. Hey, continuing with our catch report, it's time for one of my most favorite spots and a report that Wayne is going to be listening very closely to because we got the girl. Rosie is on the line right now from Cedros Sport Fishing. Hey, Rosie.
Good morning, Rosie.
Woohoo.
Oh, 3 of my favorite guys. Good morning. And listen up, Wayne. So you're going to, it's so crazy how, we have so many different anglers that head to Cedros, so many personalities, so many different styles. And Cedros, it produces for everybody. Like right now, we have a group of guys down there. And 2 of the guys, basically, they really just want to calico bass fish all day, every day. And so they were checking in with me, and they said that, basically they went calico bass fishing, and they just were constantly being attacked by the yellowtail, which
poor guys.
Have to giggle.
Right?
Like,
Poor guys.
oh, bummer.
Brutal.
Yeah, bummer. So, yeah. So they decided, they thought, okay, well, let's just head north. Let's go to Punta Norte, hoping that they would get, the bonanza of calico bass. And they said the bite was a little bit off up there for calicos. They only managed to get 60 calicos, which, as you all know,
these poor guys. What a rough trip.
I know. Well, for Cedros, that's an off bite. You know what I mean? And using all artificials, they were using Cory's MC swim baits, some jerk baits, and some other stuff, and they were just like, dear Lord. So the next day, they thought that they would head over to Chester's. And they said, there was just no current, but they did manage to get like 15 calico bass. They thought, well, let's get out of here. Let's go try Natividad. So headed over to Natividad, and they got about another, they said, I think it was 144 calicos, which is more like, what we do down there.
Yeah.
And that's still, quite honestly, a little bit off, because we have had days where it's 300 to 400 calico bass in a day.
Yeah.
So, but they were good with that. They did keep a couple calico bass for a fresh calico bass dinner. Now jumping to the other group that was down there, these guys, there's a gentleman on the trip that comes from Arizona, loves saltwater fishing, and he bought himself a new jig. It was the AFCO jig. It was white with, I don't want to say teal, but it was more like a green.
Oh yeah, the teal
Green
back
and
and white.
Totally.
It's a swimmer.
Yeah.
I bet you it was
Yeah.
their swimmer, which
Exactly.
is like a wax wing ish.
Reminiscent of- yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't have the wings.
You
and-
nailed it.
That thing
The double hook.
swims beautifully.
Yes.
And it's
Well,
effortless.
let-
And it's in the
casting
tackle
wine.
bag.
Yes.
Yes.
You are correct, because he said every time he cast that jig, he said 3 cranks of the reel and he was on.
That's
and
so
he was
rad.
on.
Well, guess
And
what,
he
Rosie?
was-
Tomorrow we've got the man
I
on that's
know.
going to tell us all about it. Robbie Gant.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I thought I have to send this to Robbie, because
Yeah.
it's like the guy was just saying that jig is his new favorite jig. Unbelievable. And he says, Rosie, he goes, I was catching everything on it. Because down at Cedros, I mean, like I said, you might be fishing for yellowtail and you're catching calicos, or you might be fishing for calicos and catching yellowtail. He said, I caught everything on it. He said, it was his favorite jig. And he said there was one challenge where, they had a couple of sea lions that were hanging out. And of course, it was trying to get the yellowtail. And he was just freaking out, because he just wanted to make sure that he got his jig back. He didn't care about the fish. He goes, he had only bought one of those jigs because he wanted to test it out, see if it was going to work. So he said before he even got home, he got online and he ordered more of those.
Nice.
In case he lost it.
Rosie, without question,
So-
my favorite part of your report this week was when you referred to those poor calico guys being attacked by
I know
yellowtail.
it, right?
Yeah, those poor guys, man. What a rough day. What a rough trip those poor guys had.
So funny.
It's just horrible when you're trying to catch calicos and
And then they're
the
done.
yellowtail are relentless.
And then they're done getting brutalized. They get back to the island and they've got fresh yellowtail sashimi waiting for them, man. That's
Could you imagine throwing an
absolutely.
A-rig in that?
Oh my gosh. Well, we have another gentleman down there that his brother has been going for years, and his brother decided to, take his little brother down. Well, the poor guy gets hooked up to, a 38-pound yellowtail. Is not comfortable even being in the water, wearing a life vest because he's just not comfortable in the water, hooks up to a 38-pound yellowtail. And this guy's maybe $125, and he's trying to fight this huge yellowtail. The look on his face, I posted the picture, the look on his face trying to get that yellowtail in, and the exhaustion and through it all. And poor guy, but that was on surface iron. So
man, sign me up.
Wayne, you're in for a treat,
right? Sign me up to be beat up just like that.
Yeah,
man,
no
please.
doubt.
Oh darn!
Exactly. Exactly.
Rosie,
So-
a fantastic report. Great stories, great fun, and we're really excited that our Let's Talk Hookup trip with Wayne here at the helm is going to be coming down to join you. If there are any opportunities to come fishing and get in on this season, please tell us, because I love this, man. What do we got coming up? Any spots?
Yeah, we do have some onesie-twosie spots. Got a couple people kind of looking at them, but none have made commitments as of yet. So best way to do it is just to give me a call so we can go and answer all your questions as we go along there. Phone number for me is 619-772-7570.
You're the best, Rosie. Great job as always. Man, we'll just really look forward to hearing next week, and you can give us the info of Wayne getting attacked when he was down there. By those yellows.
Cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean we got Tommy T down there and Wayne.
Right. And we're gonna try to set a calico record. That clicker is gonna be going crazy.
Yeah.
Rosie, a fantastic job. Sure appreciate you, the whole crew at Cedros. Great report as always. We'll talk to you next week.
You got it, you guys. Have a great one.
Thanks, Rosie. Appreciate
Thank
you
you
very much.
You got it.
How fun
Bye.
is that, man? God, I
Right?
love that place. Wayne, I'm so stoked for you. I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous.
I don't think I'm gonna sleep for the next 2 days.
That's gonna be a great trip, man. It sounds like some good fishing. You guys are in for it, and can't wait to hear from you and from Rosie next week, talking all about it. Well, hey, been a very fun morning. That was a great set of phones when we were live with the fan. We're gonna switch over to the text. Lots of great texts coming through. How about this one starting off? What a great show already this morning, guys. Question for Wayne. Anything to add on artificial reefs in the future? Thanks for everything that you do for us, Wayne. Sure appreciate it. That's Todd from TB Metal Art.
Hey, Todd. Yeah, unfortunately, we're being held in the state of California to being able to build any more artificial reefs other than mitigation reefs, like what they did up in Palos Verde because of the DDT mitigation, and then expanding the San Onofre Songs Reef because they haven't met the requirements. Other than that, we have been stonewalled to be able to add any more artificial reefs. They did do a couple of the little fishball things up in Santa Barbara, Goleta area as a test, and we'll see how that works out. They look like they're starting to form. CCA is one of the biggest groups that do artificial reefs across the country, and we've been trying for 10 years to get an artificial reef program going here in California. It's just government issues.
It's so crazy because like in Florida, they'll go sink a ship for a reef, and in California, it just seems like they don't want anything sunk.
Well, I think there's a lot more to it than that. If you look at what's going on out there, we're fighting other interests on the water now, right? So in the state waters alone, you got to think about it. We've already sold off all the land, and now they're looking at it because of GPS. They're selling off plots of the ocean. So what are the ocean uses that they're going to use it for? Whether that's going to be wind farms, what are you going to do with the oil rigs that are out there on the decommissioning? What do you do with aquaculture? Everybody's going to start splitting up, and they're going to be able to make money off the water. So they don't want to just put artificial reefs someplace that they could be doing something else. And they don't know where the MPA is going to go, what's going to happen with 30 by 30 in state waters. It's all being divvied up.
Man, what a shame that is. That
crazy.
Is so that's rough to hear.
Yeah. And then the problem that you have is you have hundreds of reefs that the department has already authorized out there, and they permitted them, but they never did the rest of it with state land leases.
Okay.
And so they need to go back and do all these surveys, and some of them potentially need to be cleaned up because they use materials that weren't good to be in the ocean. But there's no money in the department to do that.
Right.
So, and they were trying to tell us we had to go do that. And we're like, those aren't our problem. We did not sink those. We did not build those.
Yeah.
So why would we clean them up? Right. So
what a crazy scenario, right?
Totally. I mean, it's unfortunate.
It's hard to even understand, really, other than it's stupid.
Yeah. It's illogical.
Yeah.
Right.
Cory, look, you got a good text standing by?
I do, Rick, and it refers to you, Rick. It says, good morning, guys. Great show. Going to Kingfisher.
Hey.
And Blake from Texas wants to know what he needs to bring. Some tips.
You know, the beauty of Kingfisher is you don't really need to bring much other than a sweatshirt and a pair of jeans and a big appetite. You know, that's the beauty of that place is it is very, very full service. We say that half and joking, but it is true. You know, bring good layered clothing. They will provide everything for you. Kingfisher provides boots. They provide rain gear. They provide everything. With that said, I like bringing my own boots. You know, I like a pair of those short extra toughs because they travel easy. And I like bringing my own, like a nice AFCO raincoat, like a rain pant and jacket is what I like. They provide it. It's very adequate, but it's rubber gear. So bring some nice rain gear. In terms of tackle, all of the boats are just amazingly equipped. Kingfisher is unique that the boats only run out of Kingfisher. And when you get in with those guys, and the gentleman that we fish with, Simon on the Mackay, I mean, he's been running out of the lodge for 28 years.
Wow.
It is the best operation.
That's
in
incredible,
Sitka.
Rick.
And when you get there, like Seth, talking to him, he just said the same thing. He just speaks the world of Seth. He's like a subcontractor to Kingfisher, and he just said, like, nobody takes better care of their people than Seth and Kingfisher does, and when you get in, you don't ever leave. He said it's the best thing going. So all of the boats provide their own gear for their fishermen, and because it's that way, it's all top notch. The gear that we fish with, our halibut reels are Talica 25s, our inshore reels for fishing rockfish are Kotow 200s. Our salmon reels are Takotas. It's just all really high-end Shimano gear, but it varies slightly from boat to boat, but they provide everything.
That's incredible.
It's really good. Like I said, You just need an appetite, a good time, some sunscreen, and it was great fishing. We had an excellent time. We talked about it on the show. Really good shallow water fishing. Cory blessed us with a bunch of MC swim baits to take up, and we caught 90. I mean, I'm not kidding too. 90% of our fishing this year, because of the lesser amount of salmon, we spent less time doing it, and we spent a lot more time with our bass rods in shallow water, catching rock cod and lings and all the different
So much
shallow
fun.
rockfish. Everything was done with a 1 to 2 ounce lead head, a 5-inch VA
Come
hose,
on.
some 30 pounds. We did
That's
it
crazy.
all day. It was so much fun.
That
Yeah,
sounds like so
a
much
great
fun.
time.
So how, like average depth of fishing rockfish and lingcod is pretty shallow.
30 feet on the shallow
Wow.
end, 100 feet on the deep end. You know, I
Yeah.
mean, nothing that you couldn't easily
That's
do with a
incredible.
Corrado 200. And that's the thing that was fun. Like, the fish warranted larger tackle than what
Yeah.
we were doing, but
But
we were
you're
having
having
more
fun.
fun
Oh,
with
it
it.
was a
Yeah.
lot of fun
It
on
was
light
Cory
tackle.
style. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big bass reel guy, and I kept smiling thinking of Cory. Like, this is
Yeah.
his style. 200 instead of the
Dude.
300.
Yeah.
200 instead
I
of a
love it.
400.
Yeah.
You know, medium light 8-foot bass rods instead of big heavy broomstick. You
just up your bite leader.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. Piece of 40 pounds.
A
piece of
Cold
50
Sniper
pound.
would be good too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. You know, it was great. It was a really, really good time. So
Sounds
yeah,
like-
you're in for a great trip.
Sounds like Blake's in for a good time.
Yeah, no doubt, Blake. Well, hey, I had another fun one from Steve in Menifee. It says, "Hey guys, I'm a long-time listener but a first-time texter. My question is for Wayne and Cory with you fishing on the on when you fishing the live bait back in the day. My question is, what are your two guys' favorite hook placement for bait? Does that placement make the bait last longer, swim better, or cast better? Thanks in advance for your answers. Have a great day."
Man, bait fishing. What do you?
Well, that's a broad question because are we talking
Calicos or tuna?
or are we
Yeah.
talking anchovy or sardine?
Well, so what about
it makes
either
a
one?
difference.
How about
it
that?
depends, right? If
Yeah.
Nose hook, if you're going down with a like a rig going down deep, if you're fly lining, then I'm a butt hook guy, you know, because I want them to dive. Unless they're on the surface, then you collar hook it, you know.
Yeah.
Anchovy, I'm a collar hook guy usually, you know, just because you want them throwing a bait out and you can just get it right when those calicos are at.
And that collar hook chovy just seems to swim better.
Yeah, it works better on a Gamakatsu light wire hook.
That's
just the best.
that's my style for chovy.
Okay.
Collar
Yeah.
hooking and then chovy through sardine through the bridge of the nose.
Yeah.
You know, right there.
I-
But bait fishing, my memories, queenfish, tomcod.
Yes.
A
Yes.
4-aught hook.
Where do you put an old school bronze mustad big hook in a brown bait in a you know when you got a
Oh.
queenfish? Where do you
There's-
put a hook in that?
there's nothing
that's just
better-
a little before my time.
There's nothing better than either two ways, Rick. The bait that wants to swim through the kelp and is fast,
Okay.
like bit within 2 seconds, or the slow, dopey queenfish,
Yeah.
just meandering its way and then thunk. You know, it just
He turned the wrong corner.
oh my gosh. You remember Doug Moranville?
Of course.
With the branding iron.
Sure.
There's the coolest shirt with the kelp, the line with a brown bait, and the calico eating it, man. That's just like
Nice.
an old school style. But that's, dude, I mean, you could hook that in the you know, through the mouth and out, so you're bringing it in right, or you could hook them in front of the dorsal fin. I mean, there's several ways there, you know.
I love
but
this.
dude, now
Absolutely.
you're talking bait fishing.
Well, Steve, I hope those help, man. Appreciate the call very much. Another fun one from Jake says, Wayne, I hear you're going to Cedros tomorrow. I've got a trip coming up in a few weeks. Can you tell us what your quiver of rods consists of?
Ooh.
I'm going to have everything from a 200 to a 400 casting. I'll have 2 spinning, medium and a little bit heavier one because of what's going on with the yellowtail and the white sea bass. So I'm taking 5.
Okay.
And that's my gig. And, you know, I'll have a 2, 3, and a 400 on the bait cast reels. Because you can do everything with all of those and within that fishery. You won't be undergunned. And then it's always that, how do you call the tackle bag? Because you got to get in the weight class. But,
Yeah.
you know, you got to have your selection. We'll be having plenty of plastics because we're going for the calico limit. That Tommy and I are like calico guys. We want to just go and slay them.
I think what's cool with Rosie, what she's offered the last less than a year, is if you're a frequent flyer and you're down often, they'll keep your stuff for
Yeah,
you.
totally.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just, if you're listening and you've got a trip this year, you have yet to go, and you've got a trip next year, just keep in mind, she didn't mention it, and maybe I'm speaking out of bounds, but she was offering that. So
Yeah,
check
totally.
in.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. If you're, like you said it best, if you're a frequent flyer, that's a great way to go. The other thing too is, keep in mind, like, and Rosie preaches it all the time, they'll do your laundry for you. You don't need to go down with 5 pairs of board shorts and 10 shirts and all that. I mean, just your clothes for flying down in black on the plane, and, 2 sets of fishing clothes, the one you wear, and then, next day you jump into clean ones and your other ones are being washed, and you just cycle them out. Like, you don't need boots. You don't need heavy gear. It's just it's an easy thing. Like, you should easily be able to do that. And I'm an overpacker, so it's easy for me to say, but you should be able to easily fit all your clothes in a backpack.
And I'm a guy who takes extra stuff for everybody else, to giveaways and for the lodge and the Pangaros and everybody. So I jettison. I'll usually jettison tackle while I'm down there. So I come back light because I want to bring, some fish on yellowtail or whatever it's going to be down there. But yeah, you don't, it's not the clothes. You can put the clothes in a small duffel. That's never a big deal. You don't need boots. You don't need heavy gear. Take one over, one coat just in case as we ride out. It's maybe a little bit windy and a little bit spray.
Yep.
That's it.
Well,
sunglasses and the hat,
I'm ready to go, man.
Oh,
I know, right? Sign me up,
totally.
man.
You got a good text for us, Cory?
I do, Rick, and it's for Wayne. It says, Wayne, you're a saint and going to battle with these uninformed bureaucrats. Please tell us the best app to stay out of these restricted areas. And that comes from Mark and Fallbrook.
I'm a fan of the Navionics boating app. I mean, it has everything you need. And the nice part is it's the same app that we use on all of our boats, right? And you can take it with you everywhere. I bought the North America package. I had South America because I went down to Brazil last year. It works. It's just so good. You just need to make sure you update the maps all the time. But
Navionics,
the Navionics boating app is beautiful.
Which is I think now Garmin.
Garmin owns it.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
And a really, and honestly, if you're a private boater too, it's a good safety thing too. I mean, you have an issue with your head unit on your boat, and you're relying on that for navigation.
It works.
It works. It works even when you're outside of cell coverage. I mean, it's a great secondary navigation tool. That it's a great thing to have. I agree.
I used it in Alaska.
App. I love it.
Yeah.
How about that?
It works. It's just easy. And the nice part is you carrying it wherever you go. You can put waypoints in there. You can put anything, and it gives you all the topographical, the charts, everything's in there that you need to go out. So I live by it.
We got the big Simrads on our boat, and we joke it's like having a small one in your pocket. You know what I mean? Like, you can do everything. You can save your spots. You can, we back some of our, spots just in case we ever had some kind of catastrophic failure where you couldn't get things. Like, a lot of our really important spots are saved in my phone. I mean, it's a really nice.
I know a lot of guys just put tablets up and just have this running now on their tablets on their boats, and you just use it for the sounder.
So on that app, the Navionics app, is it like, do you have to go to another file, or is it like already on there? Are the lines drawn on there or already?
You have all the different types of charts, and you can do relief shading. You can do the sonar chart. You can do topographical cartography. There's all the different styles, all built in.
The chart that I have, which is very basic, I mean, it just shows the line of MLPA.
I got you.
As
like a default
restricted area.
Right? Yeah, they've updated it, and we'll see what happens with the petition 2s that are coming down, whether or not we have to have some line changes. But they've been very good about keeping up the data.
Petition 2 line changes? Did I miss something?
Yeah, it's a new thing coming down right now. We're in the second round of the MPA petitions. In the bin 2s are coming through.
You're talking about the Point Loma one.
Is in that list.
Okay.
Point Loma, Laguna, there's a bunch of them up and down our coast. So there's 13 petitions that are up for review. And then they split those into 2 bins. First bin, it has to do with the tribes, and then the second bin is going to be all the other changes. We're looking through this process because originally they promised us that this is there were going to be no wholesale changes to our MPA network, but now there's petitions in there that are trying to do that, and they should have just been thrown out because it wasn't part of this process. Now they're changing the process, so that's why we got to go. And we got an MRC meeting on the 17th of next month
of July. So is that
is the starting of the discussion of how they're going to go through this process. Department of Fish and Wildlife just published the process that they're going to go through for evaluating these, which we thought they already did that in bin 1. If they did bin 1 and that was the process we were going to hold to, we shouldn't have had an issue. It was like, throw those out. They don't meet the requirements.
Because what I hear, I mean, all of Point Loma, from the tip of Point Loma, like basically the buoy line, which is the channel, all the way to Ocean Beach Pier.
Originally. Now, the problem is that they did open up these petitions to amendments.
Okay.
And they opened it up, and they had this time period where they could go and put amendments in, and they were supposed to go back out to the public and talk to everybody and get agreements. And haven't seen all of those yet. And that's what we're waiting for is, what are those amendments? Did they come and change boundaries? Did they amend what they're going to try to accomplish with them? Again,
make it a little more friendly for the angler.
Potentially they negotiate it down or whatever, and there could be an agriement, but we haven't seen them. So
Wayne, there's nothing that makes me more sick to my stomach. Seriously, all the Point Loma. Are there other areas up the coast that they're?
Yeah, and some of them are like where Dana Point comes down and they want to fish that northern edge of Laguna, right, or whatever, and then they're trying to grab all of it, right? Some of them just don't make sense, because what is the purpose of the MPA network? And then where do you cross over between the MPAs and the 30x30, which is still coming? Okay.
Which is not, so
two separate processes.
But the 30x30 won't count the current closures?
Right now they claim that they count all 124 MPAs, which is 16% of our statewide coastline. But then in the last OPC meeting 2 weeks ago, they came out and said, here's our process to get to the 30%. Oh, by the way, we're going to add Chumash, but we're going to take out the MPAs that don't have any restrictions. So then it went from 16 to 22% with the Chumash, right? Which was questionable, because we're not sure why this one but not others. How did you get there when you just developed the process? Who made that decision? Well, nobody liked it, and that part of it got kicked out when they had to go to the board, the OPC board, to get voted on. They killed the Chumash, they killed that MPA part, and they only agreed upon or decided to put in the decision tree implementation at this point. Go back to the drawing board. Let's move forward.
Crazy stuff, Wayne. Hey, well, with that in mind, we're going to be right back. I'm going to try to settle my stomach. And we'll return on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Haida Gwaii Safaris, formerly Queen Charlotte Safaris, invites you to experience the magic of Haida Gwaii Islands, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, I'm Valerie Hoprich. 25 years ago, I fell in love with these incredible islands, the breathtaking scenery, the warm community, and the truly phenomenal fishing. That passion inspired me to open my own fishing lodge, just steps from the Sandspit Harbor at Haida Gwaii Safaris. You will be fishing in pristine, pressured waters for Chinook, king salmon, halibut, lingcod, and much more. Plus, be surrounded by untouched beauty. We pride ourselves on creating an unforgettable venture that turns first-time guests into lifetime friends. You will come for the fishing, and you will come back for the memories. We are booking now. Call us at 1-877-815-2892 or visit our website, qcsafaris.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram. Haida Gwaii Safaris, where adventure and friendship meet.
All right, it's time to talk about great gear from Shimano. And boy, we were talking about that Tranx reel and the versatility of what you can do with that small gear. I mean, from fishing local to fishing Cedros to fishing up in Alaska and all of those things. We had lingcod to 40 pounds on that Tranx 400. Man. Wayne, you're about to go down to Cedros and cast it a calico bass and have a 20-pound yellow eat it that you aren't ready. Corey, you've had, big giant calico bass, like all of that stuff in such a versatile platform. Easy casting, easy ability, drag, smooth. They're fantastic.
Plenty of torque.
Nothing like it, man. Across the board from the 150s all the way up to the 500, there's a reel for you. For more information, check out your local Shimano dealer or check out Shimano.com.
It's employee pricing, and it's happening now at your San Diego County Ford dealers. That's right, employee pricing across a full lineup for trucks and SUVs. A lineup featuring California's #1 truck brand and Ford F-Series, America's all-time best-selling SUV and Ford Explorer, the iconic Ford Bronco, and more. No automaker employs more hourly workers or assembles more vehicles here in America than Ford Motor Company. And that's a commitment your San Diego County Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing to you. It's only for a limited time. Exclusions apply. Hurry to your local San Diego County Ford dealer today.
Hey anglers, AFCO Pro Captain Ben Florentino of Coastal Charters here. As a full-time guide, I'm on the water all year long. It's my livelihood. Having the right clothing is of the utmost importance, staying warm, dry, cool, and comfortable to endure whatever the Pacific wants to throw at me. Thankfully, I'm equipped with AFCO clothing to keep me dialed season after season. Do yourself a favor and check out AFCO's award-winning gear at a dealer near you, or learn more at afco.com.
Welcome back. Having a great time here this morning. My fault. I once again stepped on Cory's spot. I'm so used to bringing it back when we come back on the break. And I was looking at paperwork, making sure it's all good.
Rick, it's just having a good time with a good buddy like Wayne Kotow in the world headquarters. And we've had just some fun conversation, other than my upset stomach. We've had some great conversation and just good sand bass and calico and white sea bass. And dude, the bluefin are biting.
It's awesome.
I saw what the American Angler was unloading today.
Great,
so
right?
many yellows and the yellowfin along with the bluefin.
They were on a long trip.
They were on an 8-day.
Love it.
Man.
Such nice grade of yellowfin down there too. It's just, we're picking up right where we left off from last year. That big fish biting. I love it, man. Our stage is really set for a great season ahead of us.
Saw Ray's got the $1 million Hollywood smile. Nothing but good times.
Yeah, life is good right now, that's for sure. Well, speaking of good, we're going to find out what's going on down south. One of our most favorite places to talk fishing was certainly our favorite person, and that's Chris Moyers with Smokey's Curing Company in Baja Cantina. Really, really looking forward to hearing this report. Good morning, Chris.
Talk about a Hollywood smile.
Talk about the smoke dog.
Yeah.
Rick, Cory, Wayne, buenos dias, guys. How we doing today?
Buenos dias, amigo. Everything is good on this end.
All right, man. Well, interesting show. Real quick. I'm sorry you guys are going through so much regulatory problems up there, but in all honesty, we could use a little more of it down here. But that's a story for another day. Anyway, let's get right to it, guys. The weather kind of was not really cooperative this past week. We had some uncharacteristic winds, offshore winds, and some higher seas outside that kind of affected the fishing. But I'll tell you what, the story of the week was the inshore. If you want to catch big roosters, man, it went off this past week. Nice. We're talking multitudes of 50 and 60s, man, everywhere. On the green jacks. Just head up to or head down, I should say, to the south right there. You guys know the lighthouse, Punta Reina. And then right there in the little bay between Cabo Pulmo and Punta Reina, Las Barracas and El Rincon, big roosters all week, man. Yeah. So people are having just. Yeah, exactly. And then, okay, so the tuna's coming back a little bit, 25 miles out. But again, the weather didn't cooperate as much. But, we're seeing, the big numbers we were seeing over the past couple months are coming back. And so we're getting some tuna. Really, marlin fishing is great. It's just been great for so long. But plenty of stripers out there and a nice handful of blues. So if you want to catch marlin, that's also available. The wahoo bite kind of fell off this past week. We got a few in, but it hadn't been the stellar productive bite we had been seeing over the past few weeks. And man, disappointing is the Dorado fishing. We got, just a few weeks to get to the Dorado shootout, and they're few and far between. But that could change on any given day. The Vaquera went out. One of the few. They caught a nice 40-pounder this past week, which could be a winner the way things are going right now. Hopefully not. Hopefully it'll pick up, but I'm sure it will. And like I said, these uncharacteristic winds and the high seas out there, I think everything's going to be okay. But for the most part, we're on the upswing. Let's put it that way.
Certainly some really good fishing to be had. And, Dorado is one of those things, especially in the East Cape, that you literally can flip a switch and it just invades the grounds. Hopefully that is quick to come, but we've seen it more than once where, like you say, there's just none of it around. And then one day a boat catches a couple, and the next day everybody's got yellow flags flying as they come into the various spots.
It's so true, Rick. And also, we've seen it where it's just been wide open leading up, and then like the week before it falls off. I'd kind of rather have it this way where we're kind of waiting to heat up as we head into the tourney.
Man, an awesome report, Chris. Glad to hear things are going on. What's going on at Smokey's? What's the rundown, man? I sure miss coming down there. Can't wait to come join you for a Pacifico and a shrimp taco at my favorite spot in Baja.
I was just going to say, Rick, I'm going to head in after this, and I think I'm going to have a late Campeón, Desayuno de Campeón, and have a Pacifico and a shrimp taco before I head out to the dock in your honor.
Have one in honor of me, buddy.
Yeah. So everything's going great. We're really busy at night. All the anglers coming in from the hotels. Everything's great. As usual, tequila's flowing like leche miel, and we're starting a new promotion tomorrow called Free Beer Mañana.
I love it. I love it, buddy.
All you can drink.
Chris,
all you can drink.
We had a texter, that was asking about how to take advantage of your service, and I think that's one thing that we don't really talk about enough is like utilizing you guys for fish processing. It literally can't be easier. You guys truly take care of everything wherever somebody is at the East Cape fishing, whatever hotel they're at. You guys meet at the dock. You take care of everything, preparing the fish.
We do. We make. Yep. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No,
yeah.
please.
We take the guesswork. We take the guesswork out of it, and yeah, we'll go anywhere where there's fish. And we actually have a lot more labor available since unfortunately since Rancho Leonero's not around. We used to have to put a crew out there too, but we got plenty of guys on all the docks, plenty of trucks, and we're running fish back and forth from any sometimes early as 11 o'clock or noon all the way to 4 o'clock. So we'll take your fish whole, and we'll take care of it all, fillet it, package it, fresh or smoked, and one-stop shop. We have fish boxes, airline approved. We'll take care of everything.
And that's the best part of it. They meet you at the dock, take care of all the fish, everything's taken care of, packaged just the way you'd want, perfect portions, all backpacked up. But then the box is prepared, and you just fly home with a perfect shipping box that's ready to go that you just turn in as a piece of check luggage.
cool.
And you fly home from the Cape with perfect fish. It's a fantastic service, and it's a reason you guys are the number one. Chris, a fantastic report as always, buddy. If somebody wants to keep in touch with what's going on with the processing, with the cantina, everything you do, how do we find you?
Get me at Baja Smoke Dog with 2 G's at Gmail. Call me at 858-231-1358, or you can reach me at vaquerasportsfishing.com if you want to book a boat or ask any questions about the services.
You're the best, buddy. Sure appreciate it. We'll look forward to talking to you next week.
Take care. Free beer manana.
Oh,
Thanks,
Rick, he's such a great addition, man. I love hearing his reports, and it gets me fired up, man. I want to catch some
50-pound
rooster fish. Yes. Yeah, that sounds like so much fun.
And free beers manana, man.
Exactly.
I love it.
Nothing but good times, man.
Chris is a fun one for sure. Hey, the phones, the texts rather, are absolutely packed up solid. We got a ton of great ones, and I wanted to start with this one, and I'm looking forward to hearing Wayne's takes. Says, hey guys, thanks for another great show. After hearing you talk about sand bass and up and down cycles, it makes me wonder slightly about yellowtail. Wayne, do you have any information in terms of cycle and what change in fishing might be? And do you ever see a change in limit on yellowtail? I've always been slightly concerned when I see real small fish on the kelps being kept. Do you think that has any bearing on our fishery? That's from Cameron in Vista.
There isn't enough science on the yellowtail that I've seen. I know we all have our personal opinion on them. I'm absolutely agreeing that we shouldn't keep the little ones. And the sport fishing fleet down here in San Diego actually kind of put their foot down on the little ones, right? And let them grow. Let them grow. Let them breed. They grow fast. Right now, regulation-wise, I don't see a need for it. There's plenty of biomass out there, and there's plenty of food out there for them to eat. So right now, I don't see a need for management, but I do believe that we should, as conservationists, for sustainability purposes, stay off the little ones. Let them go.
Yeah.
I mean, just catch and release them.
And boy, I can tell you one thing. We had one of the best bites of yellowtail we have ever seen last year. That tremendous Coronado Islands fishing, good sign of yellows on kelps. And I know one of our 4-pack boats that runs out of Fisherman's Landing, Lucky B, Brandon Nelson, he had a fantastic day of really nice grade yellows on kelp. So certainly nice to see that kelp patty component, kind of running back into what we're doing offshore.
So awesome.
Some good fishing to be had.
I think we're going to see a lot more kelp patties. We were up in Central Coast fishing, and you could see the kelp breaking off. It's finally starting to grow back. We had the storms over the winter, and they broke. So now you're seeing the patties come south, and we have enough bait out there. So the bait will get underneath, congregate, and that'll become that fishery.
And that yellowtail is such a migratorial type of, we have home guards, right?
Yeah.
But it's such a migratorial, runs up the inside.
Groups, right?
I love it. Well, hey, speaking of great fishing, we got an extra bonus on the show this morning. We got the man, Captain Frank Lopresti, is on the line this morning. Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
Good morning, Rick. Good morning, Cory. Good morning, Wayne. How are you guys?
Morning.
We're great, buddy. Excellent to hear from you this morning.
Well, regarding that yellowtail you're talking about, I don't know if you saw the plane report, but he did see large yellowtail under kelp patties down in the 30 block. So that stuff's slowly moving up, and I think that's going to happen pretty soon.
That's great news.
Other than that, I just got a couple other things to report. Aliar, I talked to him at about 5 this morning, and he was kind of bummed. He said that the people can't land them. And last night was just big fish. All the boats had the same problem, hooking fish and not able to land them. And
Wow.
it was a tough night on numbers last night. Quality was there, but the numbers were tough. Other than that, I just wanted to let people know that Shogun's schedule is now up for 2026.
Oh.
On Monday, the Polaris Supreme schedule will be up for the entire year for 2026. If anybody still wants a charter, we do have a few. There are some charter dates open. Any open party date then can become a charter date. And then the Royal Polaris will be coming out shortly thereafter. The part of the schedule is up for Royal Polaris, but the whole schedule won't be out for a couple weeks. Okay.
Wow, that's great news, Frank. And all of them can be seen and booked directly through the Shogun website, Polaris Supreme website. Same with the Royal Polaris. I mean, you can go direct. It's really cool that you have the same software that the crew at the landing office has, at your fingertips. You can book your spot directly on there if you find the right one.
That's right. Yeah, it's easy to book online. So have at it if you're interested.
That's exciting news about Aliar's report. Not often that you hear that. Like they just couldn't land them. That's pretty amazing, Frank. And we'll hopefully the next round of guys will have the big gear ready, and we'll see some of those big ones when the boat returns.
Yeah, everybody likes the small reels, but when it comes to bigger fish, all I can say is, I'm sorry, buddy, you're outgunned.
Yeah, it's a good call, Frank. There's no replacement for a big piece of tackle. I know that was something that I'd read a long time ago, that I've never talked to a man that was hooked to a big fish and said, man, I sure wish I was using a smaller reel right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So Frank, all right. A fantastic report, buddy. Thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Talk to you real soon. That's great news.
Rick, Frank is so active. He was down there right there checking out the American Anglers catch and just walking the dock, man.
Every day.
He still pushes dock carts.
Yes.
Yeah. Nobody keeps a better handle on what's going on than Frank. Participating every day. We have a fantastic crew at the tackle store, and we've got we always every year it's the same thing. We get several new additions that work in the summertime, and kids in high schools or summertime job. Frank knows every person's name, every person's everything. Hey, did you go bass fishing last night? How was it? He's the best. There's not a better leader than what we have down here than Frank. No doubt about it.
It's awesome.
We're very lucky to have him. And boy, we're lucky to have Wayne in the studio this morning. Still time. It's been a very busy show, and we got time to sneak a few more in. And let's do right after that. This one was from Tony in San Diego. Says, Wayne, I'd love to hear more about the white sea bass head program. I'm really encouraged when you were saying that there was more heads being turned in. Anything new you can share with us in terms of hatchery fish? And I always love hearing the stories about fish being released and then landed in a faraway place. So questions, all things sea bass.
Yeah, the hatchery program is alive and kicking. We've given them more money through the program. A few of us are on the advisory panel, and we were able to release more of the monies, which will help them out. We have fish out in the grow out pens. If you're up in the Channel Islands area, the Channel Islands pen is going to be releasing their fish on Monday, and they could use some help. So go over and say hi to Frank Sullivan up there at Channel Islands and help them out. The white sea bass, we have been working this program for years now, and we're seeing the results. They're there. The white sea bass heads still need to be turned in. If you want your stones out of the heads, put your name and everything and say, I want to keep my stones. They'll return them to you. We're doing a fin clip program, which has to do with the genetics.
Yeah, you mentioned that before. Expand on that a little bit.
So what happens is we're going through a different program. The heads talk about the coated wire tag, which give you the parentage of that fish if it was out of the hatchery. Mm-hmm. The genetic program will give you one level. It'll only tell you if it's out of a hatchery fish from a parent. So if they've had offspring since, we're not to that level yet, but this is the beginning phase of being able to turn over from the coated wire tag methodology to genetics. And we're actually on the forefront. This is what the program's for, is pushing the technology, the science. And we're showing that with genetics, we actually have a higher percentage of return of hatchery fish from just one level of parentage. And what you do is there's these little clip kits, and you clip a fin, you put it in the bag, and you seal it up, and you send it back to them. And it's very simple. It's very accurate. It's so good. We've been able to prove it that now they're using it on the salmon. They do the coated wire tags here in California, but now they're on a fin clip program for salmon also. And we are the ones that started that with the hatchery program
with the sea bass.
With the sea bass.
It makes me so glad to hear that, because it's one of the things that always drove me crazy was naysayers of the hatchery program would strictly talk about numbers of return. Right. And yet there was just never an allotment for, the program's been going on for years. There have been thousands and thousands of fish that are of spawning age that are reproducing in that cycle. And there was never an allotment for all of the fish that were raised in the hatchery, gone out, spawned, thousands of other fish, but those fish are just never become part of the program. And they're all there because of a fish that was raised in the hatchery.
But the beauty of that is they can't argue with that, Wayne.
No. And
there is no argument.
To the point where the Department of Fish and Wildlife has their own genetic lab now. They opened up their own genetic lab, which is where we're going to have our fins analyzed.
Interesting.
So it's going to be the department analyzing that. And so there's going to be no question.
I have a text that goes right along with this, Wayne. It comes from Daniel in the 805. It says, "Good morning, gentlemen. Great show. Are any other species being raised and released besides white sea bass and help supplement?"
So the program right now is primarily white sea bass, but we understand that it takes a long time to get a program going. When a couple years ago, maybe even longer than that, the California halibut were under attack from regulators, potentially to be regulated. They thought they were had a concern of biomass. So we started up again the California halibut in the hatchery, and we had some releases already. They still are there in the hatchery program, and they actually got authorization to release again. So that one's in the wings in case we need it. It takes money, it takes people, it takes time, and we're trying to work through that process because it takes a long time to get enough brood stock, enough science behind how to spawn them and then rear them out and get them out.
It's just another reason why we need to be in tune with you, Chris, and Tony with CCA, and that's just bottom line, right?
Totally, man.
Hey, we're going to be right back. You're listening to Let's Talk Hookup, and Wayne Kotow from CCA. Going to Cedros, man. We're going to be right back on the Let's Talk Hookup app, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
Whether you're going fishing, diving, or just having fun on the water, there's nothing more worth doing than messing around in boats. So let me ask you, are you ready to upgrade your ride? Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland is your exclusive Western U.S. dealer for Steiger Craft. Created for inshore and offshore waters and laid out with the serious fishermen in mind, Steiger Craft has built a solid reputation for performance and excellent rough water handling. If adventure on the water is what you live for, now's the time to invest in your passion. Call Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland at 510-437-1444. To look at the whole fleet of Steiger Craft online, go to steigercraft.com. Now's the time for a rugged, reliable, and fast Steiger Craft from Boat and Motor Mart of Oakland.
A top fleet and superb fishing is what Seaforth Sport Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, it's no wonder Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limit, El Gato Dos, Pride, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. For charters or regular open parties, schedule check seaforthlanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
Hey, this is Rosie with Cedros Sport Fishing. We have always been the leader in fishing trips to Cedros Island. We have set the bar even higher with our second lodge opening for the 2022 season. Side-by-side lodges sitting on the cliff's edge with relaxing ocean views. With direct flights departing through the CBX in San Diego, we are committed to providing first-class service to our guests and an unforgettable fishing experience. Come check out the Yellowtail and Calico Bass capital in the world. Nobody does it better than Cedros Sport Fishing. Call me at 619-772-7570 or check us out at cedrosportfishing.com.
Inside information is everything when it comes to catching fish in Southern California. You need a code group to connect with what's happening on the water. FishDope.com is your code group. Inside information available at your fingertips 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. FishDope.com really does help you catch more fish and burn less fuel. FishDope.com is the only fish finding service with a spotter plane, along with a crew of top anglers on the water almost every day that report actual locations and catches. They become your code group. You get daily catch reports from Point Conception to San Catine, 365 days a year. FishDope.com has online planning tools, temperature and chlorophyll charts, hot bite icons, and more. Take it from me, if you don't have FishDope.com, you're not part of the in-the-know crowd. Membership is affordable and good for an entire year. Plus, use the special code and save $30 on a new FishDope.com membership. Check it out today. FishDope.com. Catch more fish, burn less fuel.
The lighter the bite and the cleaner the water means one thing. You need a thinner leader, more natural presentations. That's where Seaguar Gold Label leader material shines. It's Seaguar's thinnest leader material yet. That means it's even less visible underwater and creates more natural presentations for better catch rates on leader-shy fish. With exceptional knot and tinsel strength, this advanced leader material is now available from 2-pound test for fishing trout in the Sierra to 80-pound test for big yellowfin in Guadalupe. Get Seaguar Gold Label at your favorite tackle dealer or learn more at seaguar.com.
All right, welcome back. And man, 2 hours just goes by too fast. Go ahead and flip the coin. Going on to San Diego. It's a texter, Stephen Menifee.
Man, congratulations, Steve. What a good time to be going on to San Diego. We talked about it all morning with this great local bite. I mean, everything bite. Local, inshore, offshore. Fish are too damn big to be caught on the Polaris Supreme. That just that was great from Frank. And, you know,
Legit.
you talking about the angler, a great long-range fishing that's going on, and Rosie Cedros report. It's all happening, man, and what a great time. And, Wayne, we cannot thank you enough. So, one, just such a great time having such a good buddy, so knowledgeable in here, but also you being so generous. Again, we're wishing our best to Jim. Just under the weather. He'll be all good, but just wasn't the right time for him. But yeah, really appreciate you coming in at such short notice, taking care of us, and we just had a great time talking fishing with you.
Absolutely appreciate it, guys.
We're really excited, and thanks for everything that you do. Even in retirement, the busiest guy I know. Really excited to hear you going to Cedros, and man, just can't wait to hear about a fantastic trip coming up.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to your report when you get back and everything going on with CCA. Again, you said it best. The best thing to do, just participate. Be a member of CCA. Come to the events. Keep in touch with the website. Chris and Tony doing a great job with social media. It's an excellent follow, and man, we really appreciate everything that you guys at the organization do for us.
Thank you.
Great job. Appreciate that. Appreciate you. Appreciate Cory and Kyle and Adam keeping us on the air, keeping us on the app, and we're going to look forward to another great show coming your way tomorrow. Robbie Gant from AFTCO is going to be joining us. We'll be talking about that AFTCO swimmer, I'm sure, and a lot of great products from AFTCO. You stay tuned. We're looking forward to you tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m., right back here on the Let's Talk Hookup app, Facebook and YouTube Live, and 97.3 The Fan.